headlines.
Good morning, party people. Hardy has his hands on his hips over that one, but that is A-okay. Happy Friday. Last night there was an AFC West showdown between the Chargers and the Broncos. Both teams are looking for a way into the postseason, and things looked promising for the Broncos heading into the half, but the Chargers would come out victorious 34-27 after a huge fourth quarter for them. And in other NFL news, former running back Adrian Peterson was announced last night to be in legal troubles once again with warrants out for his arrest. The warrants were issued in Fort Bend County in Texas, and its sheriff's department did not immediately confirm any information. And last night, the Celtics had some struggles in the fourth quarter against the Chicago Bulls and fell 117-108 at TD Garden. Head coach Joe Mazzulla had to be held back by several coaches on the court after the game from the referees, and they will finish their home and home against the Bulls tomorrow night. Another loss for the Bruins last night on the road in Edmonton. Connor McDavid scored the game-tying goal with 2:21 left in regulation, and Mattias Ekholm got the Edmonton winner in OT. Leon Draisaitl scored his 900th career point on the assist. The Bruins are also back on the ice tomorrow against the Sabres. And the college football playoff starts today with number 10 Indiana taking on number 7 Notre Dame at 8 p.m. tonight. Sports Hub headlines are powered by FM Generator. The last thing you want is a power outage this winter. Get prepared now with Winco's lineup of portable, standby, and prime generators. Learn more about Winco and schedule now at thefmgenerator.com. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub, Boston's home for sports. I'm Kendra Middleton, and your next update is around 6:30.
Let's talk turkey, shall we?
Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, in the sports industry, that's what you say.
Got your talking head right here, buddy.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Fred, hello. 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 Mm-hmm. Hello. Hello. Hello.
He's naked. He has a sword.
Loopity up with a football.
98.5, The Hub.
Bruins are back from the West Coast. Cocaine and hookers, yes. Na.
Is it okay to use this for the radio?
Yeah, oh yeah. Welcome to the show, you sweet baby.
Back on the air. Let's go.
Here we are, Friday. What would normally be considered a getaway day, mail it in type of Friday show, and I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it will be for many broadcasts across this great land of ours, but not here, not this morning, not on 98.5 The Sports Hub, not on Toucher and Hardy. Fred Toucher, gone. All right, so check number one. We are off to a good start. Number two, Dan Roche is here. Not my first choice, but still, it's going to be. I think it's going to be great.
I think I'm finding out.
Yeah,
I called a lot of people yesterday, and I said, "Did he ask you? Yes. Did he ask you? Yes. Did he ask you? Yes."
Yeah, but I'm glad that you're here. Kendra Middleton is here, and between Adam 12 and Nick Gemelli and Ryan Beaton, we have a fantastic show planned today.
Aces.
It really is off to a great start, save for one thing. Kendra.
Yes.
I know you're trolling me.
Yes.
I know what you just did.
Yes.
Can we talk about this?
Sure.
As a human girl and human boys here, because I think this could be useful to you. And you don't have to believe me, right?
Okay.
Who am I? You know, I'm just some schmuck. You have a veteran broadcaster sitting to your right in Dan Roche. This is a man who knows what he's doing. This is a man who has been doing this for a long time. Okay. So if you don't believe me, you don't want to trust me, maybe you end up trusting Dan.
Well, we talked about this when you weren't here last week.
Okay. The what's happening party
already. What time is it?
The
6:04. I don't need this in my life. It's Christmas.
The what's happening party people opening to your headlines, which
Yes.
I've heard on the weekends before, and you just heard now. Dan, what are your thoughts on that?
She sounded like Good Morning Vietnam. Good
morning, party people.
Yeah.
Oh.
I party, you party, we party, everybody parties.
Right. No, we don't. Okay. The first thing I hear when I hear that in the weekend, I'm like, well, she's not speaking to me for two reasons. Number one, you're addressing the audience as a collective,
Yeah.
which the audience does not like.
Okay, well, it's gender neutral, so
You're driving alone in your car. Why are you calling me people?
why not?
Because I'm a singular person listening to a
But
singular
there are
voice.
multiple people listening.
No. Radio is a very personal medium.
Okay.
It is one of the benefits that this medium has. You're not addressing a huge audience. You're not on stage. You're talking to one person right now.
That's okay.
Kendra, when we go to break, can we grab his phone and put that as his alarm clock?
Yes. Or his text message tone, so he has to hear it even more.
Yes.
And maybe I'm willing to accept my role in all conflicts, disputes, disagreements, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe this is more on me in that I am not a party people. I do not party. I don't go to a lot of parties. I am not a party person.
So what's the difference between that and when Fred says, "Good morning, guys"? Because that's also not singular.
Morning, everybody.
Yeah, or that.
I think he's doing that kind of tongue in cheek. It's
Okay,
kind
well,
of
that's fine. It's the same thing.
Are you doing it tongue in cheek?
Maybe. Who's to say?
We'll see if the party people
Wouldn't you
call.
like to know, weather boy?
I'm asking. I can't ask Fred. He's not here.
But it's the same thing. It's just, that's not singular. That's
Are there
also
party
plural.
people out there now?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that there are people listening
What
to
time
this.
do party people go to bed?
They don't.
Oh. Have you done that?
Yeah. Quite a bit.
When does it hit?
Usually like 9 a.m. Like, there's this big thing amongst my generation. I don't know about you guys. Did you guys
Here
do
we go.
sunrise sets?
Gramps?
Sunrise sets?
Yeah, where like DJs or bands would play at sunrise instead of at night. That's a big thing now, sunrise sets. So
Are they geared toward people who have been up all
Yes.
night? Okay. So it's
that's
not
like your last show, your finale is like you do the sunrise set and then you go home.
Oh, what a nightmare. No.
Yeah, that's the big thing now.
What is it? Nothing good happens after what?
Midnight?
10?
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
As you get older, it goes down.
I feel like that's something that came out of rave culture, Hardy. I feel like there was some of that maybe in your or my Albuquerque years. Maybe that was because it's that whole like you would know better than I would, Hardy. Stay up all night and okay, you know what? Let's just Let's just push through to the next day. And I got this sunrise set and a little something to keep me going.
There's a comedian named Larry Miller who does great stand-up. He was one of my favorite guests on this show years and years ago, where a comedian comes in and he does might have some material. Maybe he has nothing. Maybe, he's a dick and, doesn't say anything funny for the whole time he's here. Larry Miller, who, the movie Pretty Woman?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. He is the manager of the clothing store. It's like, oh, yes, how much ass kissing are we going to do today? That's Larry Miller, okay? He came in to the morning show when it was Fred and Rich, and he was promoting a set that night. And he sat down, they're like, Larry Miller is here, the great Larry Miller. And like, what do you have? He said, gentlemen, I just walked past your common area kitchen, and as I was walking by, someone opened the refrigerator. And I was hit with a smell, like a punch to the chest. He did 5 minutes
Did he
on
really?
the smell that came out of the Sports Hub refrigerator
That's awesome.
at the old studio in Brighton. And he killed. I mean, people were dying. They were losing water listening to him describing the smell and what was in there.
That's a
and what
true comedian, right?
And then he got done. And by the time he was finished, they're like, okay, well, that's the time, Larry Miller. And he's like, thank you, boys.
Right.
And
We'll
they
see you
got
at
up
the
and
Wilbur
left.
tomorrow.
Yeah. But Larry Miller said that he was talking about the staying up all night thing. He's got a bit that he does about it. And he said, when you stay up all night, he said, and you walk out of that bar, you leave that place, and the sun is coming up, it's like God's flashlight. It's shining on you. What have you been doing? And I had plenty of all-nighters when I was in Las Vegas. I hate it. It took me a long time, years, to get over that anxiety I would feel when I would see the sun come up. Now I see the sun come up
Every day.
This time of year, every single day. Even on the weekends, I'm up before the sun
Actually, you
comes
don't
up.
see it now. Right?
No, we won't see it for another hour. Spoiler alert. But
Yeah, it's still pitch black.
It took me a long time to get to the point where I could feel okay watching the sun come up because it meant for years that I was up to no good.
Yeah.
No good. So I don't like the idea of a sunrise set.
I can
as
never
you
stay
call
up
it.
the whole night. Like I even if I went to bed at 2 and got up at 3, I'm better than I am if I stay up through the whole night. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
even just an hour nap
Yeah.
takes care of it for me. I've had those situations, but
Well,
no, I
when's
don't know
the-
how you do it.
When's the last time you had to stay up all night for something?
Super Bowl. Every Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Every
Right?
Super Bowl, we would go from the post game, our fifth quarter post game show on the field, to gathering stuff, to going back to the
So
team.
it's been a while.
Yeah, I know, right? Back to the team hotel, put together packages and stories for the morning show, wrap them all up, and then go to the plane and come home because the parade would be the next day and we'd have to get home.
No, it's. I went to two Super Bowl post game parties, and it's such a long day to begin with.
Yo,
That by the time you're at the party for like an hour, 2 at the most, I can't wait to go home and go to bed. It's just you're exhausted. I couldn't imagine having to stay up all night.
imagine
and
going
work.
to the team hotel to cut your stuff, going in with Michael Hurley, who was working for BZ.com, going to the team hotel, doing all my stuff, and say, Mike, we go to the airport. Yup. Going into the Walgreens parking lot across the street and not seeing the rental car that you had. That happened to me one of the Super Bowls. And we thus had to find out that the Walgreens manager, the overnight manager, didn't like our car being there.
Oh, so I had
And it
to
had
tow?
been there all week. We had paid the Walgreens people to
Yeah.
let us park there because we were there for the Patriots covering him. And he just said, no, I didn't have an agreement for that new Super Bowl night. He called, got it towed. We went to Deliverance to pick it up. It was just
Where was this?
it
What
was-
Super Bowl?
It was just, I think this was the Arizona one of the Arizona ones.
Okay.
And no, it might have been Houston. I'm not sure. I've lost track. No, it was Houston. The comeback.
There was
one.
a Walgreens over by NRG.
by the Marriott, the team hotel.
Oh,
the Patriots
that's the
team
hotel. The hotel. Okay.
And we get to this place, literally, Hurley's like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, let's call the guy and say, how much does it cost to get your car out?
Yeah.
And he's $200 cash.
Oh, of course.
So
Great.
Hurley's like, I don't have any money. I'm like, son, I'll go to ATM and I'll take cash out. And I literally had to go give this guy in the middle of the night. It was like Deliverance going into this tow truck area. It was like a junkyard. And I had to hand this guy with a beard and everything else, comes out like with a shotgun. And thank you very much. Then we get into the car. We got to go right from there to the airport to catch our flight. And Hurley does the thing that you're never supposed to do when you go to a rental car return agency. What is that?
The one thing you're not supposed
to do is drive over those things.
Oh, the spikes.
Coming back.
Yeah.
Pew!
Who did?
How
No. How
swear
have
to
I
God.
never heard this?
Yes.
Did he back up?
Yes.
Or did he go the wrong way?
He thought he was going the wrong way, so he backed up.
Oh.
So both rear tires.
Yep. And we're just
And
like,
he
I'm
didn't
like,
give
Hurley,
him-
grab our bags and just give the guy the keys and tell him what you did and let's get out of here. And then we got to our flight. Awful. That was awful.
What's the charge for something like
It's
that?
like, yeah, I don't even know. I didn't ask him.
I
I
would
didn't
guess
say anything.
significant.
Yeah, because that's 4 tires.
Right.
Did he go over all 4 or just the back
Yeah,
2?
I'm pretty sure it was all 4. I know it was at least 2. I'm like, Hurls, what are you doing? I'm tired. I'm like, come on.
It's like you only see that in a movie. No one actually
Exactly.
ever does
I've
that.
never seen it in my life except for that.
Holy crap.
Yeah. That
Did
was
you even write that off on your, travel
I know.
expenses either?
Thankfully, I got paid the $200 that I had to pay the tow truck.
Yeah, like on the line item, complete dumbass. I did what no one has ever done. I actually backed over the spikes.
Right, you would think they'd applaud that into the expense report people, right? Who'd have nothing but,
crap.
we'll take that one. That's a good one.
Ah, that's outstanding. All right. So we have a bounty of gifts here this morning brought in by Dan, the gingerbread sandwich cookies,
Yeah,
which
and
are
Kendra.
delightful. But Kendra's homemade
Yes.
Ritz cracker peanut butter white chocolate decadence. When did you make these?
Last night. It's my great aunt's recipe.
Those are
You like her a lot?
Yeah, she was great. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. And Eileen,
How much
baby.
do you like her? A lot?
She's great. How great?
I mean,
great,
I know
great, great aunt.
I know she's a great aunt.
Oh my God! It took me a second to get that dad joke. Wow, my hair color is really
Come
screaming
on,
this
Kendra.
morning.
It's 6:14. I haven't been to
know.
bed yet.
Hey, my hair color is natural.
Yeah, those are really good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Wow, a compliment from Hardy at 6:15. I'll take it.
What? I have nothing but compliments for you.
Thank you. I appreciate
What
that.
choice are you? Do you know?
Probably last on Earth
For what?
to be here.
To be here for us.
Oh God, no. Oh no, I was very happy about this configuration.
Oh
today.
yeah, wow,
sure you
true
were.
compliments
I
from
was.
Marty.
When did they tell you?
I truly.
Yeah.
I don't
They tell
know.
you like half an hour ago?
No, a week ago. Who do you think I would rather have in here? Honestly,
Like, name anybody.
no, that's not true.
Yes. That's what Adam said.
Ooh.
Dan Roche, how dare you?
See, this is a
This is what aggravates me about him.
This is a
And we're going to end the
Who, me?
show. You and I, no, Hardy. We're going to end the show once and for all. Or maybe during our segment that we did that I prepared for this.
Yes.
We're going to end our little thing once and for all. When you've just smeared my reputation all over the community. We're going to end that on a positive, happy note.
We're ending beef just in time
And
for the holiday
I'm going to
season.
I'm going to have the callers call in and give their opinion as to what was done that day.
Okay, this is based on one incident where I
We'll bring it up in a whole separate segment.
okay, fine,
Okay.
fine.
Kendra can judge too.
But let me get back to this whole like favorite co-host thing.
Okay.
This is a typical Fred Toucher gaslighting situation where he feels like it is well known that Dan Roche is his favorite co-host. That's who he wants to be here when
Oh, you sleep with him.
he's not. Well, I don't think you two are doing much sleeping.
So you
It's
are up
only
when
sex.
the sun comes up.
It's just sex between you two.
Sun sex.
Yeah.
Right?
Sunset sex. Sunrise sex.
Now kiss.
All right. So, and he puts it out there. He's like, well, you have Michael Hawley is your favorite. I said, I like Michael Hawley. I like doing shows with him. So he's your favorite. No, not necessarily. I've never thought about it. I don't sit there and rank my friends like I'm 8 years old and I'm coming up with the guest list to my birthday party.
Oh my gosh. Well, you guys didn't grow up in MySpace culture. When I was a kid, it was so brutal that MySpace was like the original Facebook, and you had to genuinely rank your friends like 1
Top
through
8,
8.
right?
Yeah,
Did
1
you
through
really?
8. Yes. And that was how
Wow.
you knew where you stood with your friends in middle school, because you were ranked 1 through 8 amongst every single person you knew.
Oh God, but talk about that's worse than social media. That's
It
worse
was
than
OG
texting.
social. It was OG social media. That
No,
was the first thing.
that is like
That
the
is social
genesis
media.
of
Yeah.
cyberbullying.
Yeah.
Right
Yes.
there.
It was the original social
God,
media.
people are just brutal.
But I kind of liked it. It was brutal, but you'd never had
That's
to.
because you were popular.
Well, no, I was the opposite. I was homeschooled because I was bullied so bad. But the thing is that you knew where you stood with your friends. You never had to question. It's like, okay, is this girl just being nice to me? Is she being mean or anything like that? Like, you knew where you stood with people. And I kind of, as brutal
You like
as it
that?
was,
I don't like
yeah.
that. I don't. You know, you can lie to me. I'd rather have you lie to me like you're doing,
I'm not
and then say
I'm not
like you're
lying to you.
like my 12th choice.
I think of us as
I'm fine with that. But you say no, you're right up there.
I think of us as being friends as much as coworkers because I know you outside of work more so than I know you within, the work walls. Paul Perillo, I've spent more time with him. I loved working with Paul.
Paul.
And who doesn't like working with Michael Hawley?
Yeah.
So
I know.
I don't have like a preference, but that goes so far up Fred's
not
ass
what Fred
when
said.
I say things like that. Oh, just so Jesus. Just say it, Artie. You like no one's so better than anyone. I really don't. I haven't given it any thought, and you don't have to put that on me just because you have your ranking.
Fred.
That's him. That's on him. All right, now we got that out of the way. Let that be the last time we speak of Fred today. Let's enjoy
No.
ourselves. Let's enjoy
Is
ourselves.
he leaving today?
I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe over the weekend or something. He's going to Tennessee, I'm sure, and be with his parents. We'll find out what happened last night. Later on, we're going to talk with Cedric Maxwell. We'll go around the NFL much later. Dan Roche has a game. He's brought a game to the show today. I don't know what this game is.
He started texting me about this on Tuesday. That's how prepared this man is when he comes in to
That's like
co-host.
Tim McCone levels of preparation. That is impressive. Okay, good. So all that happening here this morning on Toucher and Hardy. Oh, FanDuel. No. YouTube. Something. What is it? 12. I don't have any of this stuff. I didn't do any of the stuff here.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's
Why don't you do it for me right
yeah,
now?
I'll do
It
that
has
for you
to
right
be.
now. You can wait. We
Please,
are brought
watch
to you
us on
by,
YouTube.
FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Watch Toucher and Hardy every morning on YouTube. You can search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube and subscribe to to keep up to date with all the best moments from Boston's home for sports. And I have to say something about the algorithm and say it incorrectly, because whenever Fred talks about the algorithm, he's doing it incorrectly, but that's part of his charm.
That is part of the charm. Okay, you can press the button, send it to break. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. Half Toucher.
Dressed like a gorilla.
Half Hardy.
A big, beautiful ball of flame.
And a whole lot of Boston sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider.
Did you catch a game last night?
Are you still on Twitter?
I am, yes.
What are you?
Hardy Radio.
Oh,
I changed it.
Pool. I tried everything.
You don't follow me on Twitter?
I can't. No, because you didn't tell me what it was.
What? I didn't tell you what it was 15 years ago when I created the
Oh, I
account.
do. Yeah, there it is. Hardy, you and I did an audition once.
Yeah, we did, and you did not. You know something?
I don't think
you
I
got a
liked you back
lot
then.
of balls. You have tremendous balls. Here, Kendra, here's something. You want to talk about gaslighting? This is gaslighting because when WBCN went away, Adam 12 can attest to this, we were all brought in and said, well, the bad news is you're all fired, right? The good news is we've extended your severance a little bit, and good luck. And Hardy, you can audition to be a part of the Sports Hub. But that's essentially how the conversations went, right?
Yeah. Yes, that was pretty much
Yeah.
accurate. Yeah.
So-
Has everybody been fired here? Have you been fired?
No,
Oh, I have.
knock on wood.
Well, I mean, I was essentially fired from my job at WBCN because WBCN ceased to exist.
Right, so you didn't get fired. It's just that where you worked stopped. That's a weird
Stopped
thing about
existing.
radio. Like, just
Yeah.
where you work doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, does that
so-
count as getting
No,
fired?
it doesn't.
I don't think so.
Remember the old HDH radio?
I've gone through this 3 times, so I will tell you that it does not count as being fired.
Attaboy.
That's
Trust
what I
me.
tell myself, at least.
Because I've been fired, and I can tell you what fired feels like.
That's right.
That weren't
That
it.
ain't it.
No, it said the very next day you go to work for the Sports Hub, but doing what exactly? Didn't quite know. And by then I knew because in the weeks leading up to it, they said, Hardy, you can audition to be a part of the Sports Hub. We're going to try you out with a couple of different people. And one of the people, we had to go down to the old Mix building next to the CBS,
Oh,
the
yeah.
WBZ
Is that what it was?
building.
Soldiers Field Road.
I think you and I did an audition,
Yeah.
like a fake radio show in one of the studios there on Soldiers Field Road. And
I walked out. I'm like, he's not my first choice. That's what I said to Radzik.
he,
That's good.
they approached Dan Roche and they said, you can be on, this brand new FM sports talk radio station. We're going to have the Bruins. We're going to have the Patriots. We're going to, we are going to, start this thing and you can be a part of it. And he said, great, tell me more. He said, well, you'd be doing like a weekend show with Hardy. And he said, no, thank you.
I'm out.
Is that real?
Yeah, I said Costanza. I'm out.
Wow.
No, Kendra, let him twist. So I work at WBZ TV, and at the time, during that whole thing when this whole transition was going on, I ended up working for WBZ TV, WBZ AM, ZLX, and the Sports Hub. We were doing stuff on all one reports, everything else. So it was just time in my life where I was just straight out busy. And they were very kind to me. They said, would you like to, what they asked me originally? Would you like to do the 6 to 7 o'clock hour?
Oh,
Do
the original baseball report.
Yeah, do your sports
Is that in the morning
talk.
or at
No,
night?
PM.
Okay.
Do your sports talk or whatever. You file your reports for BC, and then just come on and do an hour.
That actually would have been really good.
It would have been fun, but in my mind, I was just so straight out busy. I have like my neurotic is I over prepare. I'm nervous about everything, and it just wasn't part of it. So it never worked out. But I liked and it was one thing I never forgot was auditioning with Hardy. It meant a lot to me. It didn't mean much to him, obviously, but to me, it meant a lot.
Well, no, because I was shunned. I was spurned. And
You weren't shunned or spurned at all. I was just trying to do my best to have a little conversation with you, and you said next.
And I
every
think-
time I kept hey.
thank God for the angelic, saintly, patient, and my mentor, Jerry Trupiano, who did say yes. I don't know what you're laughing at. He said yes.
I love Troop.
He said, yes, I'll do it. And we did it. And Hardy and Troop was on for years.
And he even let you look at his portable television that he would bring into the studio with him for your weekend shifts.
He did have a portable.
Desktop portable TV.
He had a you remember
handheld.
the movie Wall Street when Gordon Gekko pulls out the little TV? He's like, look, I got this for my kid Rudy. He's an electronics freak, 3 years old. Troop had that.
Did he really?
Yeah, and he wondered why he couldn't watch the games in the studio. And I'm like, well, because I don't know. You don't have like an HD converter for that. I don't throw it away. Just throw it away.
Why is
you
it
got to
that
throw it away?
These Red Sox play-by-play guys are technically just not on the ball at all. Joe Castig, who I worked with, for several years doing pregame and postgame shows and everything else, he would break his recorder every time he went down to interview Butch Hobson or whoever he was talking to at the time.
How do you break a recorder?
I don't know. And he'd come back and, I didn't get it again. I don't know what you look at this. You know what I mean? It was just like, could not figure out a tape recorder.
Well,
I got a CD of photos the other day from CVS and didn't know what to do with it.
Well,
oh,
I don't know that you can in a lot of computers
That's
anymore.
what
they
I'm
don't
saying.
include CD drives in computers,
I don't know what to do because
they have stores now you can bring that stuff to.
Yeah, I'm a big, I make scrapbooks of all of my memories with, actual printout pictures, but they gave me a CD to get the digitals, and I'm like, what the hell do I do with this?
Do you have spiders all over you in one?
Yeah. Yes.
One of the worst stories I've ever heard on radio. Kendra talking about our experience with spiders in Jacksonville.
Save it for later.
Okay.
Because I haven't heard it.
Okay.
Gross.
We should get to what happened last night. The Bruins did play.
No, we don't even need to talk. Let's do a low bell. You know what? We're not going to show the highlights tonight. He would come on at 11 o'clock with Jack Williams during the sports segment and say, you know what? We're not going to show you the highlights.
I like you on TV, Dan, but if you came on one night and just said, you know what? We're not going to talk any sports. We're just going to talk as friends. I would probably be more inclined to watch that.
And that's what made low bell. He could pull it off.
Yeah.
He'd talk to Jack about golf or something like that.
Yeah.
And Jack would be, well, let me tell you, I'm out in Vegas, baby. I golf with you at Summerlin. It's my country club. It's the place to be, Daddy. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is a nice spot. All right, so the Bruins were in Edmonton last night, wrapping up their 5-game Western road trip. They were 2-2 on the trip, heading into Edmonton last night, and things looked pretty good earlier on.
McDavid gave it up, got it right back. Works his way down the left wing side. Against McAvoy, plays it around behind the net. Zadorov in the far corner against Draisaitl. Kastelic knocked one free, but it's thrown to the net, and ricochets in past Swayman. And it'll be Zach Hyman who gets the Oilers on the board.
So that was after the Bruins went into the first intermission with a 2-0 lead. Zach Hyman scores for Edmonton in the second, midway through the second. All right, you still got a 1-goal lead. Things will be okay. Whoops, Connor McDavid still plays for Edmonton. He scored in the third. So what happened in overtime?
Now it'll be Nugent Hopkins working the Oilers ahead. A centering pass for Draisaitl, turned away by Swayman. In front they score. Matthias Ekholm able to knock home the rebound, and the Oilers win it 3-2.
So the overtime win for Edmonton last night. Bruins finish up the Western road trip. Not bad. Could have gone much worse.
Yes.
Could have gone much worse. Picking up those 2 wins out of the 5. That's okay.
Kendra has a good stat about Draisaitl.
Yeah, 900th career point on 3 assists last night. Also, I didn't know until I was doing my prep this morning that the Bruins hadn't lost to the Oilers in Edmonton in 6 years.
Wow.
You know why? Great sheet of ice.
Is it?
Ask anybody who played in the NHL. Bob Beers. Ask Beersy. Beersy, what was your favorite rink? Oh, Edmonton. Great sheet of ice. Says it all the time.
So what's your relationship like with Bob?
Beersy?
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
He makes fun of me.
All right. Could you...
Sitting in a bar with him and Harry Sinden and everything else after a playoff loss and stuff like that. And I'm just like, hey, Harry.
But I'm always very...
You want a Cape League game this summer down there?
Yeah. I'm always respectful of all the hockey guys because I think they're, they're not afraid to handle business quickly. And especially Bob. He's a big guy. Still, you shake his hand, it feels like you're shaking hands with a catcher's mitt, right? So I don't know that I would even do anything that he might perceive as busting his balls. But I understand, the ice in Florida might suck. But once you get north of the Mason-Dixon line and it's not the middle of the summer, how is one sheet of ice any better than the other?
Hey, you can talk crap about Florida hockey teams, but they have dominated the last decade.
That's fine, but
yes,
in terms of the ice,
I know
what's special about the ice? The boards I get, the boards there suck. There's too hot off the low end. Blah blah blah. It's ice. How different could it be?
I think it's there's 2 categories for that, right? One is teams that have NBA teams, right, in their same arena.
Yeah.
That changes the conditions of the ice because that's the problem they have with the Garden, right? And then just anything north of the border, anything in Canada is great ice.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is because it's cold up in Canada.
And they're not sharing their building.
That too. Winnipeg. There's nobody wants to share the building. right? The NBA would never go up there.
It was so cold in TD on Monday night for WWE just because you could feel the ice still under everything, like the court wasn't on top of it. And I was freezing.
So there we go. The Bruins are going to be home now to play somebody. I don't know. Who do they have
Buffalo.
coming up? Oh, the Sabres.
Sabres
They have
on
2
Saturday.
games. You know what's great about that game, and then they play Monday at home too. I think right, the 23rd.
I did have their schedule in front of
And
me. I can pull it back up.
Todd Angeli does the in between periods, the Christmas Carol songs, sings with the crowd and everything else.
Oh, you love that,
I do
don't
love
you?
that. Yep.
They're home against the Capitals on Monday.
Yeah.
Dan, I know I'm not going to ask you to name one. Give me your top 3 Christmas carols or Christmas songs.
I've been going.
God, Christmas shoes. I'm sure is one of your favorites.
Jumped up in my category, which I like a lot, is the Santa Tell Me by Ariana Grande. I just like that song.
She's a great singer.
I saw her in Wicked. Yeah, my wife and I watched.
I haven't seen Wicked yet. Is it good?
It's actually. I didn't know it was the prequel to The Wizard of Oz. That's how stupid I am going in.
Me either. No, me either. I had no idea. No, I don't.
Yes.
I don't.
I'm like,
do
what
movies.
am I watching? To my wife, she goes,
Why
I don't
did
know,
you go?
Because my wife and I had a free Saturday, Hardy. It was just like I had the day off. It was just not. I'm like, what do you want to do? We didn't have anything to do, so I said, you want to go see Wicked? It's just out and everything.
It was your idea
because my daughter-in-law loves everything Wicked. She's seen it probably 10 times on Broadway and everything else, and she was like, you guys going to see Wicked? You guys going to see Wicked? So I said to her,
I would say no, dear daughter-in-law.
I know.
I'm not.
That's why you're not a good father.
I'm not good. It has nothing to do with being a
That's
father.
why your kids hate you.
You have.
So for me, it was just like, yeah, let's do that. So Pam and I went, and not only did we go, but the theater that we went to see it in was closed 2 days later for being rat infested.
I love rats.
Yes.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
The rats like crawling across the people's feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where?
Yeah. I'm not going to say what it was, but we went. So it was good.
Start with an M.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Had a great time.
Yeah, I saw that. Saw that on probably on your station.
But I did like it.
Rats are cute.
She was so good in that movie. Her
Yeah.
voice and the other girl. What's the other girl's name?
I don't know. I'm not a movie person, but I heard that it was really good. Did your wife cry? I heard a lot of people cried.
No, she couldn't understand why people were crying.
Okay, good for her.
Yeah, she was like, why are people crying? I think it's that emotion of seeing it on Broadway.
Yeah.
Carried into the theater if you were just seeing it. But the thing that ticked me off the most is they did this. They at least in Harry Potter, they told you that it's like, okay, next year is the second half of the final one. We had to wait a year to the final half of Wicked. It was only one. The Broadway musical was 2.5 hours. This was a thing. I got to wait 1 year to see the second the part of Wicked.
Yeah, why does it take? And it's 2 hours and 40 minutes long. The first half of the movie version of a musical.
Because if you do it twice, you get twice the amount of money.
But why does it?
Why
if you're splitting it in half, why does the first half have to be 2 hours and 40 minutes?
It's the same. It's the same thing as like a good TV show, though. You know, it's just like a second season if it's too much.
Yeah,
I just don't.
It's a long time to wait.
If you're making 2 movies, make them both an hour and 51 minutes.
But it was good. I enjoyed it. It doesn't take a lot for me to enjoy a movie, Hardy. I like going to the movies. I always have. Like the experience. I'm off Tuesdays and Thursdays usually. A lot of times during the week, so
I'll
I go
keep
to
that in mind.
the matinee. 10 a.m. trench coat, front row. It's awesome.
Dan Shaughnessy used to go to the movies a lot.
Yeah,
I don't know if he still does, but he's a big movie goer.
You know who go to the movies a lot, and maybe it's changed over the years, but from knowing business salespeople, and they don't tell you, right? Because they just have to hit their quota. So what did you do today? Well, I called on this guy, called on that. No, you didn't.
My dad was a Yellow Page salesman. He played golf.
Right. Exactly.
Once the book closed, he would play golf all summer long.
As long as you hit your quota.
Okay, but here's what I still don't get. You've got a Saturday afternoon completely free. You can do whatever you want. And it's your idea to go watch Wicked.
Yeah.
What?
Well, it's
football season. He's gone all the time. You got to pay the favor back to your wife and do something with her.
It wasn't her idea.
Yeah,
it was
but she
his
wanted
idea.
to do something together, and instead of being self-serving and doing something he wanted to do because he's been on the road, he did something for his wife that he thought she would enjoy.
And if I said, would you like to sit around and watch college football all afternoon with me? It wouldn't go over well.
Why don't you take her to Top-Golf?
Because girls don't. 90% of girls don't want to do that either.
But Pam does.
Yeah, Pam's a good golfer.
Okay, well then, yeah, but there you go.
There's only so many times you can go to that well,
I can't imagine like having it be my idea to go see.
But
Wicked.
we also went to dinner. You know what I mean? So it's like a nice day for us. And she's under stress. And Bauer hockey. It's not an easy world. Things like that. So
I know.
And my daughter just closed on a house and
congratulations,
all that kind of stuff. My daughter's getting married next July, so there's a lot going on in her world. And I just said, just sit in bed.
Your son got married last summer?
June 1st. So, yeah, we're cranking things now.
Empty nesters.
That's okay.
For real.
Yeah, that's
gonna be easy
for her.
Real.
When my daughter moves out whenever she moves out, transitions into this new house, and then in July, it's going to be a hard day for both of them because they're best friends. Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
So, yeah, sorry to bring everybody down on the Christmas holidays, folks. We'll be right back.
You think that's depressing? Wait till you find out what the Celtics did last night. P.U. They stink. We'll do that next and continue what happened last night here on Touch.
A friend of mine
Hardy.
passed away. We'll talk about that, too, when we come back.
Oh, it's like working with Troop all over again.
Just don't look at Dan's Twitter links.
You know who died? No, I don't. I never knew that man. Well, he was a great man. Okay.
We talk about Brock Purdy, too.
Let's
The Cars.
But, Kendra, how long have you been in the business? It's called a tease.
Yeah, but you got to tease what about.
No.
I didn't say what they
Why
are.
does Dan want to talk about Brock Purdy on a Friday before, the Christmas holidays?
I can't wait to find out.
Thank you, Hardy.
Wow.
I can't wait to find out what Kendra's going to tell us in the Hub headlines.
Boom! Party people.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right. Last night there was an AFC West showdown between the Chargers and the Broncos. Both teams looking to find a way into the postseason. Things were looking up for the Broncos heading into the half, but the Chargers would come out victorious 34-27 after a huge fourth quarter. In other NFL news, previous running back Adrian Peterson was announced last night that there were legal troubles once again for him with warrants out for his arrest. The warrants were issued in Fort Bend County in Texas. Their sheriff's department did not immediately confirm this information. And last night, the Celtics had some struggles in the fourth quarter against the Chicago Bulls, falling 117-108 at TD Garden. They will finish their home-and-home against the Bulls tomorrow night. And another loss for the Bruins last night on the road in Edmonton. Connor McDavid scored the game-tying goal with 2:21 left in regulation. Leon Draisaitl netted his 900th career point on 3 assists. Bruins are back on the ice tomorrow against the Sabres. And the college football playoff starts today with number 10 Indiana taking on number 7 Notre Dame at 8 p.m. Sports Hub headlines were brought to you by Best Ford. Looking for great deals on new Fords? Go to the Best Ford in Nashua. Head to the Best Ford. So I cannot read this early. Head to Best Ford of Nashua.com. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub, Boston's home for sports. I'm Kendra Middleton, and your next update is around 7. I will hopefully learn how to read by then.
More.
have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
You don't need any Christmas lights, 'cause the Citgo sign is there. Have a couple bells, if for nothing else. It's Christmas in Kenmore Square.
I do not remember this one. Was this part of the Oedipus Christmas Eve thing when he played
He's
this?
played this before, yeah, but it's also it's sneaky enough. It's on YouTube. This is Tom Sandman, the legendary WBCN production guy, and Billy West doing the voices. Christmas in Kenmore Square that they used to play on BCN back in the day.
And it was, I think, the birthday yesterday of the Citgo sign.
Oh, that's
1965
right,
was the first time that it flashed the Citgo lights and everything else, and I think it was I think my wife told me it was the birthday of the Citgo sign.
December 19th, who could forget?
Yeah,
there you go.
As a kid,
1965.
as a kid coming to Fenway, that was everything. You'd be driving. Where's the Citgo sign? Because you knew you were close to Fenway Park when you saw the Citgo sign for the first time.
Well,
It was
also
awesome.
the buildings, the downtown, you could tell you were getting close to Fenway Park, right?
Yeah, but the Citgo sign was cool because
There
you
are other
could watch it in Fenway Park because there was not all these, the monster seats and everything else.
There are
You
other
could-
landmarks to indicate that you're getting close to Fenway Park. There's the Charles River. That could also tell you you're
Right.
getting close.
Go ahead. This is why
He's just mad
this
he
is
grew up in
why
Michigan.
You're not my number one choice to work with.
The only way you knew, because you just keep driving forever. There's no way. There's no other way to tell where you are.
Ruined
on
my
this,
childhood fun.
on this planet, other than that. People used to miss Red Sox games, and they miss first pitch more often than not before the Citgo sign was up, because they drive right past the park. They wouldn't even know they were there.
I just thought it was cool as a kid. Go ahead. Say what you got to do. Talk about the Celtics.
This hour of Toucher and Hardy is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Celtics played the Bulls last night. They should have won this game. They were in good position to win this game.
Ugly possession for Chicago. Tatum blows by Horton Tucker, and this time he will finish the slam with the right hand.
Finally, what gets the crowd up? A tomahawk dunk going towards the rim.
There we go, Sean Grandy and Cedric Maxwell, who will join us later. But Celtics, I don't know if you watched the game, shot a lot of three-pointers last night. Many three-pointers, and they weren't going down, and they started getting frustrated, and that frustration, I would say, manifested on what was a pretty routine jump ball play.
And Jaylen Brown is saying, I'm the one who tied him up. And they're going to have Pritchard do the jump ball, and then the quick trigger by Justin Van Dyne, and he tees up the Boston bench.
It might have been Joe Mazzulla.
Sam Cassell stepped in front of Joe Mazzulla, and Joe just shoved him out of the way.
Yeah, so that was ugly. Jaylen Brown would continue to argue after the first technical foul. The free throw was shot. Jaylen Brown ended up getting teed up after it. Needless to say, the Celtics kind of fell apart after that. They would go on to lose 117-108 after the game. Jaylen Brown still not happy.
I got fined a couple weeks ago for inadvertent gestures that, I determined not a part of the game, which was fine. I took the fine. But what part of the game is a ref, calling inadvertent technical foul. And then I said to him, you called a tech for no reason. He said, if you say it to me again, I'm going to call another tech. You call a tech for no reason. Then he called the tech. Man, get out of here. You can't threaten guys with a technical foul. That's not part of the game either. You want to fine people for gestures and all this stuff. Fine that. That's some bullshit.
That's like Breakfast Club, wasn't it? You want another?
You called a tech for no reason. If you say it again, I'm going to give you a technical. You called a tech for no reason. Technical. That's some BS. No, it's not. He actually told you what he was going to do, Jaylen.
You want another one?
Yeah. Now, okay. You should be able to have conversations with the refs. You should be able to argue with the refs to a certain extent. Going back and watching this on replay, I think Pritchard tied up the ball first. I'm pretty sure that Joe Mazzulla lost his mind over nothing. And then Jaylen Brown compounded the issue. It's not why they lost the game. Maybe it was...
It's just frustration, right?
Well, do you know how many three-pointers they missed last night? I believe the number ended up being 41.
Oof.
40...
Can I give you a Sean Grandy stat?
Go ahead.
Celtics last 2 years shooting threes. When they're above 32%, what's their record?
Above 32%. The actual record, I don't know. Really good.
75-11.
Okay.
When they're 32% or below, 10-12.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
That's the whole
That's it in a
thing.
nutshell. When they shoot the three well, or decently, or okay, they have a chance to win. When they have those horrifically bad nights like they had last night, they're not going to win.
14 of 56.
What percent is that? 29?
Yikes.
25%.
It just never should have even gotten there. This Bulls team is not good. They are 13-15 on the season. They are better on the road, 9-6 on the road, but still, this never should have even been a game.
So this was a conversation during the week about people not watching the NBA, and the ratings are down. And I was like, I don't know who's – I haven't gone away from watching the NBA. I'm watching the same amount. I'm watching that game last night, and the officiating was – it got out of control. Jason Tatum got called for a tech later after that for just like waving his hand like that, and they teed him up. Like, now you're way out of line. Now it's way out of line. With that was the technical that bothered me. But the 3-point shooting, I kind of get it. And if you wanted to come up with reasons why there are some people not watching the NBA as much as they used to, that was not a good product last night. That was not an entertaining game to watch, and a lot of it had to do with the bring it down, shoot it, bring it back the other way, shoot it, bring it down, shoot. And mathematically it works, and it helped them win a championship, but when it doesn't work, that's unwatchable. Yeah.
The officiating across, I think, all of sports has been consistently really bad, but I think Joe Murray and I had the conversation on his show the other night that while I don't think that there is a superstar in the same sense of, the LeBron that we're, privy to the last, 20 years, or Shaq or Kobe or anything like that, I do think that the refereeing is preventing us from having a product like that, because you can't have the attitude that those guys had and get away with it anymore.
Yeah, there's too much of that. Exactly what you said. Too much of it. Attitude. Right? Referees, you don't be part of the show. Right? It's like the same thing in baseball when after a while it gets too much. It's too much. Just do your job.
Everyone's got their own frustration level, and you hit it for sometimes good reasons, sometimes bad. Missoula hit his last night and argued about the tech. Jaylen Brown hit his. The referees, at some point in the season or some point in the game, say, you know what? These guys crying over every single whistle.
Yeah.
That created it soccer-like.
I can't put up with it anymore. And you watch games sometimes, it's like no one ever commits a foul, and conversely, everyone is fouled when they go to the rim.
So
and the indignation on the player's face is like, oh, come on. And you watch the replay, like, of course you fouled him. Or on the other side, Tatum is just becoming famous for it now. He goes to the rim. If there isn't a whistle, make or miss, the hands go up. It's like, how did you not call a foul? Maybe because you weren't fouled, Jason.
When
Believe
they
it or
do
not.
it and they don't get back. That's what drives me crazy. It's complaining to the ref, and then you pat the balls down the other end. Bucket. So my question is, how did we get from the 80s when it was brawling, right?
That's what I was just about to say.
When it was 82, 81 games to where it is now, where there's nothing but threes. What's the product need to look like in order to be back on track and successful again, right?
Imagine Joel Embiid playing basketball anytime before 2015.
No.
Absolutely not. His whole situation, there's no chance. But I think there's multiple issues with the current NBA, and I think that refereeing has been bad across the board in all sports, like historically bad. But just the way that they get involved in the game now, it's just, I hate it. And the flopping, you're so right. Nobody wants to watch that.
Well, yeah, the flopping isn't as bad as it used to be. But I don't think anyone has to listen to more whining and complaining than NBA refs.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way there's another group of officials that have to endure more crybaby crap than NBA refs have to.
I would agree with that.
It's nonstop. And the NHL refs, they'll just like give it right back to those guys.
Yeah.
And they probably hear a lot about it too. Those players are chirping all the time. But there's a different dynamic in that sport where the refs can tell a guy to shut the F up and to go F himself.
Yeah, that's a great point because, you think about the difference between basketball in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and now. Well, you could even make the same argument in the fact that there used to be the enforcer role in hockey, and they would still let you go at it, and they still are able to keep that same level of physicality. Players aren't flopping in the same sense, and the NHL product, I don't feel, is down. But the NBA is. How do you get the NBA in the same way that the NHL has been able to keep the physicality, dial it back a little bit, but the product is still there?
Yeah. Bert Burr's going to join us here starting at 7 o'clock, so we'll get ready for him. Thank you once again to FanDuel. This hour brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more.
I'm just watching Levin Out live on WBZ right now. He's at the Harry Aganis Arena talking to the characters from Disney on Ice. Fascinating.
What's fascinating about
it? There's nobody in the arena, and it's 7 o'clock in the morning. It's cool.
And on that
Wow.
And on that note.
You're listening to Toucher.
fourth quarter. And in other NFL news, prior running back Adrian Peterson was announced last night to be in legal troubles once again with warrants out for his arrest. The warrants were issued in Fort Bend County in Texas, and the sheriff's department did not immediately confirm any information. And last night, the Celtics had some struggles in the fourth quarter against the Chicago Bulls and fell 117-108 at TD Garden. Head coach Joe Mazzulla had to be held back by several coaches on the court after the game from the referees, and they will finish their home-and-home against the Bulls tomorrow night. Another loss for the Bruins as well on the road in Edmonton. Connor McDavid scored the game-tying goal with 2:21 left in regulation. And Leon Draisaitl scored his 900th career point on 3 assists. The Bruins are back on the ice tomorrow to take on the Buffalo Sabres. And the college football playoff starts tonight with number 10 Indiana taking on number 7 Notre Dame at 8 p.m. Sports Hub headlines were brought to you by Catches Law. Injured and can't work? Turn to Catches Law, the official law firm of the New England Patriots, to tackle your needs with local attorneys who live and serve here in New England, and Catches Law fights for you. Go to catcheslaw.com to book your free consultation. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub, Boston's Hope for Sports. I'm Kendra Middleton, and your next update is around 7:30.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today. Touch your
It's Nat King Cole.
Thanks,
Tell you
Burl
what,
Ives.
there, you want the pops? I got the
Silver
Dance
and
of the Sugar
Gold by
Plum
Burl
Fairy,
Ives
just
is
for you.
the best.
There you go, Dan.
No. Where's the beat?
You can't win with this guy.
It's the Nutcracker, right?
Yeah.
No.
The
Rap
Sugar
for the
Plum
pops.
Fairy
It's the
song,
pops.
yeah.
No, I want.
How about the Cincinnati Pops?
There we
Sleigh
go.
Ride.
Wow, he had it.
Thank you. I know. Where'd you get that?
Come on, man. Who are you talking to here?
The guy in the back stands there and goes.
He
Yeah, he's
told
got
you
the
he
whip
wanted
crack.
Ariana Grande.
Yeah, that's not happening.
One of the highlights of my life, bucket list, reading 'Twas the Night Before Christmas with the pops.
Yeah,
song
mine
slaps.
too.
Did you
Mine
do it?
too. Yes.
Wasn't it
No, I
awesome?
haven't been able to do it, but I would love to.
Oh.
If anyone from the Pops is listening, choose me, not Dan Roche. Thank you.
You've never done it, Dan?
I know I did.
Oh, you did. How long ago?
Probably 10 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe. And it was the funniest part was, so it was big during the Red Sox time. So the Red Sox, when I went there, the Pops guys were like, the band was just cool, hanging out and everything else. And, I was so like nervous and everything. You'll be fine. Then they come to Fenway and they're like looking around and bright eyed. And I'm like, you guys will be fine. It was like kind of the reverse role when they played the anthem and stuff like that before the ring ceremony and everything.
So were you nervous in a way that you would normally
Yes.
not get nervous?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Think about it. You walk onto a stage and then 'Twas the Night Before Christmas isn't like a simple
Not a stage,
rhyming thing.
You walk onto the stage at Symphony Hall.
Yes.
It's the stage.
With the maestro, Keith.
Yeah, it does look. It's like very
it's
grand in there.
Yes.
And, yeah.
Did you rehearse, Dan? Did you rehearse with
in
them
my
ahead of time,
basement
or was
with
just
my
all
long time.
No, but I mean
you
with
know?
the
Did you do, like, the
Pops,
mirror
did they bring
thing,
you
or-
out to do a run
No,
through ahead
so
of time?
before the whole thing, you're in the back talking to them, and Keith comes up to you and says, "Just you go at your pace, and we'll keep up with you."
Wow.
Which is true professionals. They were
Amazing.
awesome, awesome guys.
Would you have preferred a run through with the band?
No.
Like one. That's what they prefer to be called, I think, the band.
Yeah, they're like that.
I'm sorry, the orchestra, right?
Yeah,
Or-
awfully highfalutin over there with the band. Would you prefer to run through with the band?
No, I was fine. Once they said that to me, I was fine.
Okay,
All
right.
You'd rather just go do it.
I'll never get asked.
Yeah, you will.
No.
Yes, the power of this radio station.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
They would ask. They would ask you, Hardy.
Fred got to do it.
And I was about to say, right? Like they'll ask you, and what you'll do because you're a good friend is you'll say, you know what, I'm not interested, but our producer Adam 12 has been a
I'd like to
staple
see-
on Boston radio for years. We'd love to have him come in.
I'd like to see video of Fred's doing this.
He was probably very good. He can pull it together. He can.
No, I
show
know, but
up.
it doesn't seem like the thing that he'd be good at.
Well, he
You
was
know what I
probably
mean? Like,
strung
that's not
out
his
then, right?
wheelhouse.
You give Fred copy to read. He can and
No, I know. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm saying like that's not his wheelhouse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he was probably strung out then. So, right? So he didn't know what he was doing.
Hardy missed that the first time.
just pop a couple and
some beta blockers or whatever. Yeah.
Whatever the stuff he takes at Guitar Fest.
This was pre-booby hatch Fred, right?
Hadn't gone to the Puzzle Factory yet.
Right. I'd like to see Nick do it and have Nick Gemelli read the Night Before Christmas. We should have done that at some point. It's too late now.
There's always next year.
And the hard part is, like, so you start with 'twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. But then it slows down to, like, the stockings were hung by the chimney with care in the hopes that St. Nicholas, and you have to say, like, soon would be there. It's like, it's like it doesn't rhyme the way you want it to rhyme.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It totally rhymes. What are you talking about?
That's the part that threw me off.
You think the poem sucks?
No, I love the story.
Yeah, it's a great story. There's a spoiler. He brings the kid back.
Bart, what's going on in the NFL?
Well, last night was interesting.
So, tell me what
Can
happened.
we talk Brock Purdy first? That was pretty cool what he did, right? Did you see that?
No, I mean, based on the amount of money he's making.
Yes.
And,
All right,
like,
what
it's
did Brock Purdy do?
He gave his offensive line a Toyota truck.
All Toyota Tundras.
All Toyota Tundras for the Spot Track or Spotrack. How do you say that?
Spotrack.
Spotrack.
He must feel pretty good. He's getting that contract in a few months.
Yeah, Brock Purdy, $934,000 salary. The starting 5 offensive linemen, $37.6 million is what they make.
Yeah,
and he bought them trucks.
Yeah, I know exactly. Right. So I thought that was cool.
But that's a kid who has like a good sense for his place on the team, and I mean he's always, I feel like he's one of these guys who like understands the job and understands what it means to be the quarterback. And when I've been around him, you can like he's just got a real easy way about him, so it doesn't surprise me.
Is he a franchise quarterback in your mind?
I mean, so I think part of the problem is like people don't let quarterbacks live down where they were drafted. Like Brady forever was seen as a game manager, and he's not as talented as Peyton, and it's all the things around him, and he's got Belichick, and the defense is winning games for him, and I think a huge part of that was where he was drafted. You know what I mean? Like the fact that Peyton Manning was the first overall pick, and he was a 6th-round pick, and I think a lot of the same stuff applies with Brock Purdy. Now, I mean, obviously, physically, he's not Josh Allen. He's not Patrick Mahomes, but he's more gifted than people think. And, I remember being on the field at the NFC Championship game his rookie year. And I'm standing with John Lynch, and, like we're talking about, like, what it's going to look like going forward for them and how the Jimmy thing, because Jimmy was still there, how Jimmy fits in with Brock having played the way he did. And he was making this argument to me that Brock's way more talented. And he said, this is going to sound kind of creepy. He said to me, look at Brock from the waist down. And so I look over and but I'm seriously, if you do so that's how you can tell, like with a younger guy, how big a guy he's going to be. You know what I mean? When
it's like looking at a puppy's paws.
When they're 22, 23, 24 years old, and he's built like a running back. You know what I mean? And so I think he's a better athlete than people think. He's got more pop in his arm than people think. Again, he's not Josh Allen. He's not, he's not Mahomes. But I will say this, like I remember having this conversation with Kyle, and we had talked about like their draft in 21, right? Like where they traded up for Trey Lance, and there was obviously the talk then that they were going to draft Mac Jones, and so I said to him, I'm like, well, like looking at it right now, is it almost like you took your swing at Trey and you wound up with Mac anyway, because you wound up with Brock. And he looks at me and he goes, Brock's way more talented than Mac.
Wow.
And so he's more physically talented than a guy that was the 15th overall pick.
Sorry, Hardy. Go ahead.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like I think Brock is a really good quarterback, and I think if you actually look at the way he plays, he's not a game manager. He does more than that.
Gotcha.
So he's played without his left tackle this year. Brandon Ayuk's out for the year. Deebo Samuel's been beat up, and I'd say is very much on the back nine now.
They're on
Probably
the
won't
fifth
be
running back.
right. I mean, they're on their 5th running back. So they've had to learn some stuff about Brock this year. Now I think the question is, do you pay him? Can you get away with paying him 40, or is he going to hold your feet to the fire and ask for 60? And that's, I think where the rubber is going to meet the road on that negotiation. I don't think it's going to be an easy negotiation.
I should have done this when you first sat down, Bert, and I apologize.
Sorry, that's my fault, Hardy.
No, Bert Breer is the senior NFL reporter and lead content strategist for the MMQB. Getting Down to Business with Bert Breer is presented by Bentley University, where good business begins and leaders come to learn.
CJ Scarpa was just named the interim head coach of the football team because the head coach is going to Davidson.
And we all knew
take
that.
over as the head coach.
I was sort of zoned out, and Bentley College's
football team.
Okay,
and then he started telling us.
He's an
all
Andover
about
guy. I know his dad, Carm, very well.
Oh,
I covered Bentley football back in the day.
Did you really?
Yeah, when
the Falcons.
Yeah, there was they broke all kinds of records, and the quarterback was Mark Eddy, and Dallas Mall was the receiver. I can't believe I remember this.
Nice,
but they were awesome, and then they got they went to the playoffs. They were 10-0 or whatever. They got the brakes beaten off of them by Grand Valley State. You know where that is, Hardy, right?
Oh yeah.
You know who the head coach of Grand Valley State was? Brian Kelly.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So he went Grand Valley State to Central Michigan to Cincinnati to Notre Dame, not LSU.
That's exactly what it is.
There you go.
Bert, you were working the game last night for Amazon. The fair catch kick.
I did not know that rule.
Okay, so this is crazy. I didn't see it last night and saw it this morning. Was reading about it. Can you explain how that went down? And this has kind of been the mantra this morning.
Yeah, it was bananas.
Never seen that before.
I mean, I guess this is why you force them to punt, right? The Broncos had the ball at the end. I think at the end of the first half, it's 24-10, and there's however many 8 seconds left, and the Broncos run it with the intention of running the clock out, and Harbaugh calls a timeout to stop the clock to force them to punt. So they punt, and the return guy signals for a fair catch at around, I think it was around the 40, somewhere there, right? And on the fair catch, one of the Broncos guys runs into the Chargers returner, so it's fair catch interference. So that's a 15-yard penalty, and now all of a sudden they're at, I think it was the Bronco 43-yard line. And I guess the rule reads, which I had no idea, that you can signal if you fair catch a punt.
I have that. Okay,
you have the option to free kick, and basically lines up like a free kick after a safety, right?
Jim Harbaugh chose to take the fair catch free kick, which by rules attempted from where a fair catch was called or has been awarded as the result of a penalty.
Yep.
And typically, the team signal for fair catches well out of field goal range, so the strategy is not.
It barely ever happens because if you're going to punt away, you're almost never. I mean, almost never is a punt going to be fair caught in field goal range,
right?
And this one wasn't fair caught in field goal range, but because of the penalty, now all of a sudden you're in field goal range. Cameron Dicker comes in and kicks it, and you could say, that changed the momentum too. The Broncos had punched the Chargers in the mouth up until that point, and that gave the Chargers something positive going into halftime, and the Chargers played great in the second half.
That's pretty cool.
It should have been 14. The Broncos should have been going in the locker room up 14-10. Instead, that made it 14-13.
No, 24-13.
Yeah, you were close.
They were up 24.
Oh, excuse me.
I believe that was it, right?
21.
Yeah,
21-13.
21-13.
Okay, and then the Broncos
But
went
that
would have been
18-13.
18-13.
Right? Yeah, it was 21-10 and 21-13, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that way. 21-13.
I almost had it.
Yeah, we're good.
I was closer than you.
We eventually got there as a team.
Yeah.
And I think that's the important thing to remember here.
Yeah, it's like the Lego movie.
Was
Everything is awesome.
So that Chargers team is who you're going to have to contend with next week.
First in 48 years, Hardy.
First fair,
successful
fair catch free kick.
48 years.
Yeah, because it was the Chargers the last time too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's like there was a picture like the football card
circle
of the Chargers guy
It's the theme
from
of
the
the
70s, and he looks like just
Is he like
total,
this in the Heisman
No,
pose?
no, total 70s guy with like the mop and the mustache,
really?
and yeah,
The
like
Tim Fox look.
Looks like he's out of Dazed and Confused, 100%.
All right, let's talk to Bert about all things NFL, including the Patriots, who are traveling to Buffalo on Sunday. We'll do that with Bert as we continue here this morning on Toucher and Hardy with Kendra Middleton and Dan Roche and me, Hardy, and of course Albert Breer on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Touch.
this?
It's a local guy named David Hinckley, guitar player.
Who did he play for?
He actually played for the Wakefield High School Jazz Band with me in the 1990s.
Really?
Believe it or not, yeah. Fallen out of touch for years, reconnected during the pandemic. He's making these great records and does a great version of Jingle Bells.
That's awesome.
It's no Burl Ives.
No, but he's putting a friend on the air.
I feel like, and I always appreciate Bert being here. Bert Breer is with us as he joins us on Fridays at this time, but he works late on Thursday night. Bert is playing hurt. He's sick. He's caught something from one of them Petri dish kids of his. So I feel
stupid elementary schools, I swear to God, it's like and I've been a parent for a lot shorter than you guys. I'm a decade in now. And it's like every sickness you forgot you had when you were a little kid comes back and smacks you in the face.
So this is one thing I remember asking my mom when, my wife and I are both deathly ill from something that the kids brought home. And I'm talking the throwing up and just we can't move and it's just brutal. And I said, I don't remember you and Dad getting sick every time my sister and I got sick.
What'd she say?
She said, well, I don't remember either. I'm sure I did. Your father probably didn't because he wasn't around you all that much.
Oh, shots fired. Bring out the anger in your mom.
Well, but it's true. It's like it was.
Well, you're also so self-involved when you're that age.
And who would know? You don't care. It's I'm sick. That's the only thing that matters. But it is true. You get sick like you're 5 years old all over again.
Yeah.
But the good news is, Bert and Dan, I
haven't gotten chicken pox yet, but everything else.
But it goes away. It's like your kids stop getting, deathly ill like that. And more importantly, they don't get you sick because you don't need to be taking care of them and in their face every 15 minutes.
And the teachers have the greatest immunity.
The teachers must have an incredible immunity. Yeah, to be working in those places,
But I feel like we owe it to Bert to take it easy on you, and we're going to save something for later. But I think we should get to it now, and it is football related.
Yeah,
it has to do with something that happened at Gillette Stadium with Dan Roche.
Can I explain this?
Well, can we play it first, or do you want to explain it first? I'll let you do it.
So, on Sunday, after the game in Arizona, we had Kendrick Bourne on with us live. He comes out, and he's, Bourne dresses nice and everything else, looking good. We do the interview. So I get home, I fly home from Arizona Monday night. I'm sitting there with my wife, just watching TV, and she goes, you got to up your suit game. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, the guy you had on, Kendrick Bourne. I loved his suit. It was like a purple whatever, you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh.
You think you could pull that off?
No. So he comes in to do this weekly, stuff with us. And as he walking by, and I said, hey, dude, my wife got all over me about your suit. He's like, really? And he goes, yeah. He goes, you like it? And I said, she loved it. So shame on me. You made me feel bad. Now I got to up my suit game. So then this happened during the conversation.
It's a great setup, Dan. Okay, I'm glad you set it up ahead of time, and that was good. I didn't want you to ruin it. If you haven't heard it, here's the interaction in front of other reporters, mind you. This is in, the locker room scrum?
Rev's locker room now that we did those scrums, yeah.
Okay, here it is.
Can I get a number in a respectful way for the strictly wardrobe part of life?
Hold on, what you mean? Hold on, what?
That's Dan Roche asking Kendrick Bourne.
1 to 10?
For his wife's number.
Oh, number. Oh, I think it's
one of the young lady reporters down there asked Kendrick, the purple suit with nice color, who does your suits? And he says, my wife, Jennifer. And
to which Dan says,
Can I get a number in a respectful way for the strictly wardrobe part of life?
Hold on, what you mean? Hold on, what is he asking? What are you asking?
He wants our business card.
Oh, business card. Her Instagram is Vanessa Bourne. Go check her out. She'll love. Yeah, I didn't know what Dan was saying, but no, she'll love that though. She'll love that. She does a good job though. She makes me look like a professional.
Sorry, Vanessa.
How bad did you feel? How embarrassed were you?
Somebody said they could have shut the lights off, the TV lights off. I was so beat red after I asked the question.
That's great when you're standing in the scrum. You get it like that. Yeah.
And I got
what, though? The first response on Twitter or whatever, what do you think it was? They're 3-11. What are they laughing about?
Oh God!
Right? It's just like people. Come on.
Can I get a number?
It's been miserable.
I think it's part of the way you ask it too.
Wednesday,
It's very
Right. Exactly.
like
it's very creepy. Your voice.
Can I get a number?
You understand, Kendra?
Yeah, there's a little Jim
I would love to
Gray
back
in there.
you.
Let's go. Hey,
But-
we're back,
Would love
everybody.
to,
Here we
but-
go.
But
Yeah. I can't.
Can I get a number?
it just doesn't sound that good.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Can I get a number?
Can I get a
Now I'm
number?
turning beat red again.
Can I get a number?
In the respectful way for the
See? I couched it.
strictly wardrobe
Thing, but I really need a number. Can I get your wife's phone number?
part of life.
Hold on, what you mean? Hold on, what is he asking?
He didn't understand. I don't think you should worry about it. When's the you still wear a suit on TV at night, right? But other than that, how often do you have to put on a suit?
Every day.
Really? But other than for the TV.
Oh, yeah. No. Church.
Your wife's gonna have a purple suit under the Christmas tree.
Exactly.
No.
Well, congratulations.
Courtesy of Vanessa Bourne.
All
Thank
right.
you.
They are 3-11. And they the 3 games left. Okay. What are the odds that they lose all 3? Give me your percentage take.
With the stat in mind that the Patriots, the most points they've scored this year is 25 in a game, and the Bills have scored 30 or more points in 8 straight
I'd
games.
say 80% with like the 20% reserved for the idea that Buffalo isn't playing for anything
in week 18. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
I mean, I think like the Chargers are clearly going to be playing for something. And I think they can. The Chargers can get in if the Dolphins and Colts lose on Sunday. But assuming one of those 2 teams wins, at least one of those 2 teams wins, then the Chargers will be playing to get in on Saturday, a week from tomorrow.
Okay.
So the Chargers will have something to play for. They're much better than you. I can't imagine the Chargers lose that game. Like, that'd be cataclysmic for them. They played great last night, and they're going to have 9 days rest. You're going to be on a short week.
They've got that fair catch free kick rule thing worked out.
They got the rules down.
They know what they're doing now.
They seem to have a better handle on the rules than you do.
So let's say they lose.
And you're probably going to have just taken a shiner from Josh Allen.
Let's say they lose all 3 games and they finish 3-14.
See, I think it depends on how it looks too, though.
But what happens, Bert? Like, put your crystal ball on.
But that's the thing is, like, I think it depends on like what that looks
Agree.
like, though.
Okay, I could.
I mean, if it's 35-0 in the middle of the second quarter on Sunday in Buffalo, that's different than like losing 28-17.
Well, let's say they lose 28-17. Let's say they fight against the Chargers, lose. Let's say last Buffalo game, win or lose.
I think Gerard makes it, if that's what you're
And then
asking.
what about the rest of the staff?
And I think there's going to be a pound of flesh extracted somewhere, and the question is where.
You think it'd be on the defensive side of the football?
I don't know. I mean, like, but I think someone's going to pay a price. Now, I don't know. It's hard for me to say which side, but I mean, obviously, the head coach has a stronger connection to the defensive coaches than he does to the offensive coaches. Now, I would say this. I think the offensive coaches have had their hands tied behind their backs by the talent. I think this is, from a talent perspective, the worst offense in the league. And I don't know if you have the offensive line they have, like, it's impossible to do a ton of things. And I think that's one thing that people here have sold short. And I think it's almost like this Dante Scarnecchia disease, like where you saw 20 years ago a guy turn a college wrestler into a Pro Bowl offensive lineman. Like, that's not normally the way it works. There are like 4 or 5 offensive line coaches like that at any given time on the planet. Like right now, Tennessee has one in Bill Callahan. The Eagles have one in Jeff Stoutland, but there aren't very many of them, And so, if you have a real deficiency on the offensive line the way that they do, and I like before the season, I had not heard of their starting right tackle. I had not heard of their starting center. That's pretty. Like I feel like I've got a pretty decent handle on the league. So for them to be in that spot. And it's not the way they drew it up, but they also struck out on a lot of their acquisitions. it's impossible to operate. It's impossible to do a lot of things schematically that people have talked about them doing when you are that bad on the offensive line.
Why do you think they tried to get so? I'm trying to find the right word with that offensive line. Bringing Chuks Okorafor in and things, as opposed to just going out and signing a free agent tackle
because they don't really exist.
The free agent tackles.
Or drafting a free agent.
The best. Well, the best. Okay, all right. So if you're taking
drafting a tackle, sorry,
if you're taking, they did draft a tackle. If you're taking a tackle,
right?
If you're taking a tackle, you almost certainly, if you want a left tackle in the draft, you've got to take him high. It's just the way it works. So when you decide to decide you're taking a quarterback at 3, you're more or less taking at least the sure thing. I'm not saying you can't find a tackle later,
right?
But you're taking the sure thing tackle off the table, right? Yep. And even like we had talked a lot at the beginning of the year about this Kingsley Suamataia, who is with Kansas City now, and everybody was like, well, they could have had him in the second round. He got benched and hasn't been heard from.
Joe
in 3
Tooney
months.
Tackle,
you know what I mean? It's really hard to find tackles outside of the first round. It's one of those positions where if you are going to go and get somebody competent at that position, who can become a high-level player, you have to draft them high. So it's just one of those positions where when you have a good one, you generally aren't letting them go. Yeah, so
they drafted a tackle at that 3 spot if they keep that 3 spot, or at least high in the first round.
And that depends because this year's draft is not set up as,
right.
Because a couple of kids that were, I think, seen as like the high level guys coming into the year that I would have told you like this guy's going to go in the top 5 or 10. Will Campbell from LSU, a lot of people feel like he's a guard. Kelvin Banks from Texas got his ass kicked.
Will Campbell at LSU is the alligator arms, right?
Right.
He's the short-armed fellow.
And
right.
Everything you read about the top 5, 6 tackles in the draft, it's same thing. Could be a guard, could be moved to the middle of the offensive line.
Scares the hell out of me.
Yes.
Then you have the Ohio State kid, Josh Simmons, who I think was trending to maybe passing both those guys as a left tackle. He tore his patella tendon in October. He may not be ready to go till August.
Well, then you fall to the 25th, like the 20s for the Irsay kid from Minnesota, and it's like you're not going to overpick at that spot right there.
So what do you do?
So I think you trade down. I mean, that would be my feeling would be if you're there, I think you trade down, you build up capital. I love Travis Hunter. I think Travis Hunter is somebody you have to look seriously at just because this is a unicorn. And that the word generational, unicorn, that gets thrown around way too much. It applies to this one. What this kid is doing in college is more than Charles Woodson, Champ Bailey, Chris Gamble. You name any of the two-way guys out of college.
Would you let him be a two-way guy too?
No.
Why?
Because I don't think it's not a good business decision for him because the wear and tear in his body playing in the NFL, playing that many snaps in the NFL, it just won't hold up. You know what I mean? And B, for you as a team, I think you're looking at it and saying, okay, how do we get him to a level where he's going to be elite fast? This to me was I've asked around a lot about him the last couple of weeks ahead of the Heisman ceremony, after the Heisman ceremony, and one of the things I've asked is in a vacuum, is he as good a receiver as Tedero McMillan from Arizona, who's presumed to be the number 1 receiver? Is he as good a corner as Michigan's Will Johnson, who's the number 1 corner? The answer I've gotten is he's comparable to McMillan, just different. He's a different type of player.
Okay.
And he's got a higher ceiling than Will Johnson.
Really?
At corner.
Wow.
So, which is Will Johnson's a really good player.
That's pretty crazy.
Trust me, I know.
What do you think Bill would do with him?
I think corner, moonlight on offense, and I think that's what everybody's.
Yeah, I would. Bill, he's going to put him on the defense.
I think that.
Yeah, but he also
I think that's
because of I think of Edelman and Brown and.
Because he loves the idea of football players,
versatility and everything. Right?
And I think this kid's going to push to play both ways. Everything you hear is character wise, completely clean. His football character is impeccable.
His Heisman speech was great.
Well, I mean, you think about just think about this, the amount of mental, just the mental strength, the focus it takes just to play corner, right? And the amount that and you've heard about the way those guys the short memory thing and being able to lock in and know the different receivers and how I got to cover this guy versus that guy, all that stuff that goes into playing corner. And now he's full-time on offense too, where he has to know the offense and the route
right?
adjustments and the side, all that stuff. It's it's staggering. It's staggering because again, like Charles Woodson, when he was at Michigan, played a little in the slot. They had packages for him. Champ Bailey actually played more on offense at Georgia at the end than Woodson did at Michigan. And Bailey wound up, wound up being a high-level corner in the NFL, everything else. Chris Gamble was another one who was borderline full-time, but not really both ways at Ohio State. More corner than receiver. All three of those guys wound up being corners in the pros. Like, none of the three really played much on offense in the NFL. So, like, I think this kid's a little different.
Who was the last guy that played close to full-time in offense defense? Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, like that's
Harry
always
Ganis?
but Chuck Bednarik's always the one that comes up as like the guy.
Yeah.
That's the name you always hear.
We got a break here, Bert, but I think a lot of it comes down to, especially now, it would be the business decision. Like, if you're the player, like, why would I do that? Like, how am I going to get paid?
Receiver money is better.
And furthermore, if I'm going to do both, a team isn't going to pay me to do both. So why am I going to do both?
But you use that in the draft, right?
Kendra's right to say receiver money's better. The problem is their receivers also a way more replaceable position. Corners are harder to find. Like, there's this trend, and I don't know if you guys have seen this. Like, I've said it here, I think. Like, the whole thing about players' sons.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. They're telling him to go play corner.
Patrick Surtain, Asante Samuel Jr., Elijah Molden, like all of these guys who are like 6'1", the body type, 6'1", 180, they're receiver bodies, right?
Right.
And their dads are all telling them, who are pro players, like Stingley.
Yeah.
So Stingley's grandson, Derek Stingley, who plays for Houston, who's one of the best corners in the league. They're all receiver body types, and their dads told them, like, when they were in high school, told them there are 200 kids that are athletically like you playing receiver. There are 20 playing corner.
Sure.
Play corner,
It's the most athletic position in the game.
It's the most, and it's much harder to beat. Like the high level guys.
Yeah, you want to play in college, you want to play in the pros, and
Right.
if you could be a receiver.
Right. In
be a
the
corner.
age of 7-on-7, it's much harder to find a great corner than a great receiver, because all the best athletes are playing receiver.
One of our newest favorite segments around here is called Bert Blast. I don't know if you've heard Bert Blast, Dan. It's fantastic, and I love it.
Puts me in a tough spot.
Bert is lukewarm on it, which makes me love it even more. So we're going to
I think he's drugged up on cold medicine, so he'll be good.
He's fine. He's here. He's doing it. He's a pro. So
I know.
We'll do Bert Blast as we continue here after the headlines with Kendra on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Thursday night football last night between the Chargers and the Broncos. Obviously, both teams are looking for a path to the postseason. Things were looking up for the Broncos heading into the half, but the Chargers would come out victorious 34-27 after a huge fourth quarter. In other NFL news, Adrian Peterson was announced last night to be in legal troubles once again. The warrants issued for her arrest out of Fort Bend County in Texas have been reported from their sheriff's department, but not immediately confirmed. And last night, the Celtics had some struggles in the fourth quarter against the Chicago Bulls, falling 117-108 at TD Garden. Things got heated for Joe Mazzulla as he was restrained by several coaches on the court after the game from the referees. They will finish their home-and-home against the Bulls tomorrow night. And another loss for the Bruins last night on the road in Edmonton to close out their road trip. Connor McDavid scored the game-tying goal with 2:21 left in regulation, and they would eventually lose in overtime. Leon Draisaitl scoring his 900th career point on 3 assists. Bruins are also back on the ice tomorrow against the Sabres. And college football playoffs start tonight with number 10 Indiana taking on number 7 Notre Dame at 8 p.m. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by 128 Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric, the company that finishes every job strong. If your home or business has a plumbing, HVAC, electrical, or drain issue that can't wait, you need to call 128 now at 888-CALL-128. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub, Boston's home for sports. I'm Kendra Middleton, and your next update is in about 30 minutes.
is the show for you. Toucher and Hardy, the sports.
Home and put this on.
Maybe.
Name
Maybe I will
another,
just to spite you.
Name another Dropkick song that's not Tessie or Shipping Up to Boston.
Shipping Up to Boston. Tessie.
Boom. Can't drop this thing, but I would if I could. Before we get to Bert Blast, I want to ask you one thing. We were talking about this earlier in the week, Bert, because there's all this talk about coaching and whether or not Gerard Mayo is going to be back and Alex Van Pelt, and what are they going to do defensively and this, that, and the other. How much of it is like an obvious disaster to you? You look around the league, you cover every team in the league, you see coaching disasters. I mean, you witnessed, Urban Meyer. That was a disaster. That was something that had to be changed.
Not from my standpoint, Urban Meyer wasn't a disaster.
But we know what disasters look like. How
Maybe
much
for you, Kendra, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive for me.
Yeah, so I mean, that was a disaster.
It was beyond a disaster.
This, to me, doesn't approach disaster level. How much of it is obvious to you that something is happening coaching-wise as opposed to it's personnel and they can only do so
Talent
much?
is a huge part of it. There's no question. You can't, I don't think you can coach around how bad the offensive line is. Like, that, to me, is a foundational issue that is not solvable without an off-season.
Right. You can't coach 15-yard run, 12-yard run, 5-yard reception, 15-yard run, holding.
Right.
And every game.
And it'd be one thing if they had like great receivers who could uncover quickly, where you game it up a certain way. It's like, okay, like we're gonna keep the tight end in, and we're gonna keep a fullback in, and we're gonna because we have this receiver who can get open even though there are 3 guys on him. Like, they don't have that, so that there's no answer there. I honestly struggle to like listen to the radio here sometimes, because it's just like I hear like the people talk as if like you're gonna snap your fingers and fix the line. It's just stupid.
Dare you say that on the sports?
It's just stupid. But anyway,
Hardy,
like,
go at him.
I think it's. I'm
Hardy?
not talking about Hardy. I'm not talking about Hardy.
Are you with us?
He knows. He knows I'm not talking about him.
No,
Rob?
No. I'm trying to get the Bert Blast ready. Go ahead.
Okay. So
going,
yeah,
Bert.
like
Stall.
but here's the problem. Like, to me, I said this at the beginning of the year. I said, like, over what you would like to see, because we knew the talent wasn't good enough in September. You would have liked to have seen the emergence of an identity at the end of the year. And I think the team that was on the other side on Sunday was a good example of it. So Arizona in December of last year, Jonathan Gannon's first year, they were as bad talent-wise as you are, right? And plus, they had a quarterback injury. Kyler Murray was coming off an ACL and was going to miss more than half the year, which is the way that played out. In December, they were competitive early in the year, but losing. And then in December, they won at Philadelphia, they won at Pittsburgh. And a year later, they're not great, but they're 500, and they're in the playoff race. Like, that, to me, is the trajectory that was realistic that you want to be on. Be competitive, maybe shock somebody in December, and see an identity coming together. Detroit at the end of that year. And I remember, and I brought this up on the show a couple times, but I remember having this conversation with Jared Goff over the summer. I asked him, like, when did you know? And he said, like, there was a game against Arizona that they won in 21, and then Dan Campbell's first year there, where people don't remember it because it was the Cardinals, but the Cardinals made the playoffs that year, and they could look at it and say, we affected the playoff race.
Yeah.
And I believe they went, what was it? They won 3 games down the stretch that year. It started 0-10-1,
but they finished kind of strong. You thought, okay, there's something here.
You got a signature win.
Yeah. San Francisco in 17, first year under Kyle Shanahan, started 0-9. I believe they won 6 of 7 at the end of that year, and really caught fire when Jimmy took over. So, like, I'm not saying you're gonna rip off a winning streak, but you at least at the end of that year, those years in Arizona, in Detroit, in San Francisco, had an idea of what they're trying to build.
All right.
What are the Patriots trying to build right now? Like, can you see it?
Not yet. And we talked a lot about the philosophy and the culture in there right now, and if they're still in the process, I think, of working that out. All right, let's do this.
Bert Blast lives in Duxbury by the Bay. Bert stops by Dunks on the way. We love Bert, he's a lot of fun, cause he already went for a run. It's time for Bert's Blast.
think Nick's smirking back there, too.
I would every time I heard that.
It's great.
If I was him, I'd smirk.
That's really, really good. All right, Bert Blast. Question number 1. Bert, what are your top 3 Christmas songs?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm bad at that one. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells. There you
Bert
go.
Blast.
I don't know.
Wow.
Go ahead, Dan.
I'll
You're
do a
up.
football one. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. Out of the potential wild card teams, starting, going down with, Baltimore, Chargers, Denver.
It's got to be quicker than this.
Washington,
It's
Green Bay,
rapid
Minnesota,
fire.
the Rams.
Rapid
Who pulls
fire.
off the upset in the first round?
Thank you.
I mean, the Ravens, if you want to call it an upset, and I think that they still could wind up winning their division. Packers? I think the Packers are very
There you go.
Should Patrick Mahomes play these 2 games coming up?
I think the Chiefs should sit him tomorrow. They won't. They said I talked to people there last night that said he looked like he was full speed in practice yesterday. So I understand why they aren't, because they're still playing for home field. But if I were them, I would look at it and say, let's give him a long runway into playing on Christmas against the Steelers. Then you get a long runway into the last game of the year against them.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Bert Blast.
Expectations for Michael Penix this weekend.
I think he's going to play well. It's another one of these guys who had a lot of reps in college, just like Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix. Played, had a high volume of starts, was a multi-year starter at 2 different programs. I'd expect him to play well. They really thought Cousins couldn't put the ball where he needed to put it anymore, and so they think they're going to be able to open up the playbook with Penix out there.
The only thing we have to say is
Bert Blast.
Excellent job, Bert. I mean, so good with the Bert Blast. Playing hurt. Oh, you got one more?
Out of the drafted quarterbacks in the first round this year, who has the most successful and longest enduring career?
Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bert.
Really good. Albert Breer, every week he joins us here, and he is the senior content strategist for someone, and for that we are very, very thankful. What happened to my bird sheet here?
Can't even tell people where I work if you don't have it written down in front of you.
Well, I know
you did the sponsorship already. You don't have to do it a second time.
Yeah, okay. I didn't have to do it the second time, but SI and Amazon and everything else. What? I get it?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah,
Hey,
what else?
from all of us, have a nice Christmas.
You too.
Thank
you.
Thank you for coming out.
I'm glad you got the opportunity to talk to the Pops too.
You sound much better too than you did when you first walked in.
Do you think this has helped?
The adrenaline,
in here and
the
lights.
breakfast sandwich, the coffee.
Well, that
the
and
positive
the
attitude.
Yes, there you go. Hardy,
the Burt Blast helps.
Kendra.
Too. That invigorates everybody.
It's just an uplifting environment in here.
Or is it Kenny? Am I supposed to?
Whichever for you prefer. I made cookies. He brought cookies, so
Yeah.
make sure you get some before you leave.
Okay. Please do.
Have a cookie. Spike that blood sugar for the drive back.
Right.
All right.
Have a great time in Sudbury.
Thank you very much.
Or Lincoln.
Cedric Maxwell.
Sudbury is where my parents are. I'm in Duxbury, yeah.
Dragons.
Yeah.
Cedric Maxwell is going to join us at 8:20, but before we do that, maybe. The issue last week. I'm sure it won't happen again. Something.
We're going to play James Taylor Christmas song for him, too.
We're not going to.
Ooh, I love James Taylor.
We do have to play some James Taylor
Yes.
for him this week, don't we?
Yep.
I'll
Christmas
take care
song.
of that.
Okay, we appreciate it. All right, we'll do that, and Kendra will give us the headlines here momentarily on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5.
party people. Last night there was an AFC West showdown between the Chargers and the Broncos. Both teams, if you are wondering why I'm out of breath, I just ran down the hallway. Both teams are looking for a way into the postseason. Things are looking promising for the Broncos heading into the half, but the Chargers would come out victorious 34-27 after a huge fourth quarter. In other NFL news, former running back Adrian Peterson was announced last night to be in legal troubles once again. With warrants out for his arrest, the warrants were issued in Fort Bend County, and I'm so out of breath. I tried to get back in time, I'm serious. In Bend County, Texas, the Sheriff's Department did not immediately confirm this information. Last night, the Celtics had some struggles in the fourth quarter against the Chicago Bulls and fell 117-108 at TD Garden. Joe Mazzulla had to be held back by several coaches on the court after the game from referees. They will finish their home and home against the Bulls tomorrow night. And another loss for the Bruins last night on the road in Edmonton. Connor McDavid scored the game-tying goal with 2:21 left in regulation. Leon Draisaitl netted his 900th career point with 3 assists. Bruins are also back on the ice tomorrow against the Sabres. And the college football playoffs start today with number 10 Indiana taking on number 7 Notre Dame at 8 p.m. Sports Up headlines were brought to you by the perfect holiday gift, 99 restaurant gift cards. They're the perfect gift for everyone on your list. For every $25 you purchase, receive a $5 bonus card for yourself. You gotta love the nines. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub, Boston's Hub for Sports. I'm Kendra Middleton, and your next update is in half an hour.
If you've got the app, you've got Toucher and Hardy to wake you up no matter where you are.
Or who may or may not have been to jail.
Get the app. The 98.5 The Sports Hub app.
It's called rising and grinding.
Start your
Got your finger on the pulse, Fred. Seldom right and never wrong.
Right here. Is that Toucher or is that Hardy?
I know, looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
I feel bad talking over this. It's so good. Beatless. By the way, it's Toucher and Hardy. You know Fred today. Thank you for watching us on YouTube.
Hey, let's let Kendra sneak her hourly sponsorship in real quick before you get to your giveaway tease, okay? We missed that, too.
We had a good show planned today, and then it all went to hell.
Yeah.
It's just it's
in
a
true
mess.
Toucher and Hardy fashion.
It's a mess.
We're going to tighten things up
Well,
in 2025.
to
Go
be
ahead.
fair, this was off. I had to switch it. This is wrong.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Go for it.
this hour of Toucher and Hardy is brought to you by Cape Cod Cafe, the original bar pizza. Order gift cards and frozen pizzas online now at CapeCodCafePizza.com. Find them at your local grocer or enjoy at one of their 4 Massachusetts locations. Cape Cod Cafe Bar Pizza Perfection.
Thank you very much, Kendra, who was stuck out in the hallway a few minutes ago and had to get down on the level of one of the stairs there to catch anyone's attention, because if you stand at the door, you can't be seen.
Mm-hmm.
And so luckily, who saw you?
You, but you, thank God, Hardy
Who
saved
saved
my
you,
life.
though?
Yeah, Roche saved me.
Because you were walking by and she's waving frantically, and you're so in your own
You're
world
like,
that
go-
you didn't notice
you're like,
a
go out and
damsel,
get her.
a
Go out
damsel,
and
in
get her.
a damsel in distress.
Sit in that chair and you just
I
rain
was
over
a
the
damsel.
throne. You're like,
Yeah.
go get her.
And
I'm like, sorry.
I was trying to do something nice. I had a bunch of F1 arcade coupons in my car,
Yes.
so I gave them to Bert.
And I was trying to help you because you had trouble breathing. I've had that experience.
I
You run into the
sprinted
studio,
up
and
the
Hardy's
stairs.
just like ignoring you.
First of all, I did not say go get her. I said, can you let Kendra in, please?
No,
that was the
that's not
exact
what I
quote.
heard in my
Check the
head.
tape. Check the
Check
tape.
the tape. No, that's not what I heard in my head.
Number 2, in times of an emergency, and I'm sure you probably took one of these baby CPR classes when your kids were young, you don't always have time for politeness. In a moment like that, Kendra's headlines were coming up, and the baby's choking. You just say, call 911. Get that dog out of here. You, shut up. Back to bed. You just have to, time is of the essence.
The security cameras of me sprinting are probably top tier.
You weren't doing a selfie while you were doing it?
I didn't even have my phone, no.
Oh, okay.
Well, that'd be good. With the GoPro on?
This hour of Toucher and Hardy brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Watch us on YouTube and subscribe, please.
Believe it or not, my phone is not always on my person.
You know what? That is the most shocking thing.
That I didn't bring my phone?
Guy, I almost always bring my phone, and you're on your phone a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just kind of habit.
Yeah, I didn't even bring my phone.
You want to know why?
Why?
I did get locked out of the studio once. It was when I was still doing the Sports Hub Golf Club. Sunday mornings, golf season, Dan, 7 a.m., the Sports Hub Golf Club. You ever heard it?
I record it and listen.
Thank you. I got...
I'm trying to help. Like, you made me feel bad. You're saying, like, the show's gone to heck and everything else. We had a good show lined up, and now it's, like, not a good show. So now I'm just going to play by the book. So on our segment, we're talking Jerry Jones here. So go ahead.
I left something in the car. I had to go outside and didn't bring my key and had to stand there and throw rocks up at the window. This was over in Dorchester. Kristen Sermon was producing that morning, and I literally had to throw rocks at the window to get her attention. So ever since then, I make sure my phone is... Yes, but barely.
My house key's on my phone, and that has caused me problems a couple of times.
Oh,
I once went and did a story in the winter, came back to the station at like 11 a.m. and went in and cut my story, went on the air and everything else. And at 6:30 p.m., went back to my car and it was still running.
For how long?
It was like about 7.5 hours.
Oh my God! It didn't run out of gas. I was gonna say.
Yep.
What? You just gave Adam 12 heart palpitations. Oh my God! The hole burned in the ozone that day.
Right over his house. It's
Wow.
still there.
To this day.
Sorry, Adam.
Be listening end of this segment, which is coming up quick now, for your chance to score a $50 gift card and a pair of tubing passes for Neshoba Valley Ski Area. Skiing, tubing, dining, dancing, celebrating by the fireplace at Boston's own Winter Playland, Neshoba Valley Ski Resort in Westford. Get your gift cards for the holidays at skineshoba.com. That'll be coming up here in just a few minutes. All right. The receiver from Carolina, Xavier Leggett. Thank you, Leggett. And if you've got this stuff ready back there at 12, fantastic. If not, I can pull it. Oh, I've got it right here.
Yeah, you've got it.
Okay. So Xavier Leggett was being asked about some delicacies, I guess, from his youth and from his upbringing, and had this to say.
What's your hottest food take? So, like, is there something weird that you like to eat or something you don't like to eat that you can never eat that most people would eat? You know, like, what's something, you know, that you have a weird opinion on?
Well, y'all probably seen that video when I tell them folks I eat raccoon.
You what?
I'm sorry. It sounded like you said you eat raccoon. Xavier, could you repeat that? There must be something with the connection here on the Zoom. It didn't come across.
I didn't see that. I said, no, what do you mean raccoon? Like the raccoon?
Like a raccoon that you see in the trash can.
Where do you even eat that at? Where do you even get that?
I hunt it, I kill it, I skin them, cook them, eat them, all that.
You say cook them?
Yeah.
Cook them?
Skin them? Cook them?
All that. So, we'll get to Jerry Jones here in a moment. But Kendra is already beaming as a Jacksonville girl.
Yes.
I can only imagine.
Yes.
Because now my family, hillbilly roots, right? My dad was born, the hillbilly, but moved up quickly to Michigan for the auto boom, right? This is in the 30s. But there's a lot of holdover from his dad, my grandfather on my dad's side, and they would eat like all kinds of crazy stuff. I never did, though. I'm not eating that stuff. What about you, Kendra?
I've eaten some weird things, yes.
Like?
The weirdest thing to you, I know we're going to get to the squirrel thing. I have eaten cow tongue. I've eaten frog legs. I've eaten some organs.
Frog legs are like a French delicacy, though.
Yeah, but like southern frog legs, like covered in Old Bay.
And what?
Like Old Bay spice, like Old Bay seasoning.
Don't know.
You don't know what Old Bay is?
Oh, you know Old Bay. You put it on crabs and such.
Yeah, like in a seafood boil. Have you ever had a seafood boil?
No, I don't eat. I barely eat any seafood.
Same.
It's gross.
You don't eat anything that swims?
I don't eat anything that doesn't have shoulders.
Do you consider yourself a picky eater?
I don't like seafood. The only seafood I'll eat is sushi
Well, I think
because it doesn't taste like fish.
Can chicken swim?
It's a good question.
Right? I eat chicken.
They flop around in the water.
Right.
I'd be surprised if they couldn't swim.
Yeah.
I bet they can.
I'm going to Google it.
All right. Jerry Jones was asked about this, too.
All right, Jerry, last one. I want to finish up with a final taste of that Carolina victory. Xavier Legette, their receiver, says that he eats raccoon, and that set the food world ablaze. We talk about hunting and game with you. Have you ever had raccoon or anything similar which would shock a lot of other non-hunters or game eaters?
I've eaten a lot of raccoon.
Oh, God.
Let me just set the record straight here.
I have eaten raccoon.
Yes.
Does he put the little mask on, like with the eye holes and everything, while he eats raccoon? So he looks like one?
Well, do you dress up like a chicken when you eat chicken? I think that's a ridiculous.
he swims in the pool.
By the way, chickens can swim for short periods of time, but they are not as well adapted to swimming as ducks and other waterfowl. Chickens can drown if left in water for more than 5 or 10 minutes.
Wow.
But first you have to.
I skin them,
And then you.
cook them,
and then,
eat them.
What a strange question. Do you wear a little mask when you're eating raccoon? Do you put on a cow suit with swinging udders when you eat a hamburger, Dan?
Maybe.
Wait, have you guys had gator?
No.
Oh, it's so
Mike
good.
Greenwell
I
covered him. But that's it.
Gator's good.
He was really good. Underrated. We were just talking about that. Adam 12.
That's so weird. We absolutely
Yes.
had that conversation before the show today.
Different gator. I have had gator in New Orleans. I had like a gator sandwich, like a deep fried breaded. What do you think it tasted like?
Gator.
No.
Chicken.
Oh, really?
It's like a more flaky chicken.
Why do you eat it then? Why didn't you just have chicken?
Exactly, which is the same thing I said when I was offered rattlesnake, and they said it tastes like chicken. I said then I will have chicken, please.
Bingo.
Yes.
I don't know. You could put pretty much anything in barbecue sauce, and I'd eat it.
But in terms of the rattlesnake?
I hunt it, I kill it.
Yes, I absolutely would hunt it and kill it. All the snakes. No shoulders. No sign of a shoulder on those things.
I can't believe you think sushi doesn't taste like fish.
It doesn't. Like yellowfin tuna with a little slice of jalapeno on top.
See, I
Delightful.
think that tastes like fish.
No.
I mean, I love raw fish, but
It's the cooked fish smell. It's the odor and like the lobster, all that stuff. Gross.
Okay.
I can't do it. But old Jer, yes, he has eaten raccoon. So what else, Jer?
Yes. The answer is yes. And I've eaten it. I've eaten it hunting. I've actually had it served by my mom at the table away from hunting. And I have eaten raccoon. And yes, it's not uncommon at all. I'll tell you something that is one of my favorites is squirrel.
Okay, hold on a second. So, eating squirrel meat is something you see in movies and TV shows and stuff like that. Have you eaten squirrel, Kendra?
yes, it's very oily.
Come on.
Yeah.
Why would you eat squirrel?
I want to try everything at least twice.
So-
And I've eaten worse
Okay.
Why twice?
because I didn't like pizza as a kid, and now I love pizza. So if I didn't try it a second time, I wouldn't know that I like pizza.
But you know going in, not many people eat squirrel.
A lot of people eat squirrel. A lot.
That in certain parts of the country, maybe, but it sounds like this wasn't out of necessity. You went out of your way to eat squirrel because you wanted to try it.
It was on a menu, and I tried it.
What menu?
In Alabama at like a small.
It was
yeah.
written in crayon. We have squirrel. S.
How many Michelin stars did this restaurant have?
Definitely 0. I mean,
And had
have you ever
Michelin
had
tires
uni
that
at,
had run over the squirrels.
have you ever had
That's about
uni
it.
at sushi?
I don't think so.
I was
I don't
gonna-
even know what it is.
It's-
I've never had sushi.
It's like sea urchin testicles,
Yeah. See, I wouldn't.
but it's like a delicacy.
I wouldn't do that either. You've never had sushi, Dan?
No.
Do you like seafood at all?
Yes, I like certain. Like I'll have a baked haddock or scallops. I like scallops.
Okay.
They make scallop sushi,
And by the way, I'll eat a scallop. It's not my first choice, but it's not fishy.
but they don't have shoulders.
That's true. I kind of went against my own thing there.
Yeah.
You should try sushi. Try
I don't
California
like
roll.
trialing different. I'm all past that now. I'm set in my ways. I like what I like.
You're gonna die without trying sushi?
I don't really. That's not going to bother me.
That's crazy.
Why?
Because
I'd rather have spaghetti and meatballs.
But
like
it
I had
could
the
be your
other night.
favorite thing, and you don't even know it.
But it's not.
This
so-
is delicious.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
Maybe in another life it will be, but right now, no.
Delicious.
Thank you, Jer.
You have no desire to like go to Asia at all.
Nope. I went.
And you didn't eat sushi? Where'd you go?
McDonald's. When I was over there.
What did you get? Where were you and what kind of? Because I am
try
fascinated with foreign McDonald's.
Then I just got like a basic cheeseburger. We were just like done. I hadn't eaten much, and I think I got like teriyaki something over there.
Where were you?
In Tokyo for the Red Sox.
You went to Tokyo and didn't get sushi?
Yep.
Honestly, I'm not even mad. I'm actually kind of impressed.
Yeah. I stuck to basic breakfast stuff at the hotel, and that was pretty much it. I wouldn't even eat the Benti box. I wouldn't eat the Benti box at the ball games. Nothing.
Benti.
All right, what else did Jerry have to say?
And it's wonderful, and my mother could do a great job of it. And we all had our favorite pieces, and my dad and sister, I have one sibling, a sister, and they would fight over, not fight, but my mom and I, they were just my sister and I as four siblings. My mom and I wouldn't even ask for the brain in a squirrel.
Oh, man. Oh.
And delicious, seriously.
My dad loves cow
my
brain.
sister always got it, or my dad.
The fight over the brain. Jerry Jones delivering like no one else can. Thank you for addressing all the topics.
Cool. Eat 'em.
Are those
Notice he didn't threaten to fire any of them.
I was going to say, are those the same guys that Jerry Jones said, I'm just replacing with somebody who'll do this correctly? Yeah. I'm still working there. How about that? A, because Jerry Jones can't fire you. And B, well, he's giving you long old man rambling answers now. My sister. How many times did he say he had a sister? The one sister.
My mama. She ate the brain.
Squirrel.
Brains and eyes are where I draw the line. I can't do brains and eyes.
What have you eaten that's worse than squirrel or grosser than squirrel?
I think frog personally is grosser. Some people think snail's beef tongue sounds so gross, but it is delicious.
See, that'll be a delicacy on some menus too.
Beef tongue is so good.
The one thing that I had that was the grossest thing I would never have again was turtle soup.
Oh,
Really?
yeah. Okay, I've never had turtle.
Yeah, it was. There's a big turtle soup festival near St. Louis. I was there one summer working on something, and it's like, oh no, you got to have turtle soup while you're here. And
do they flip the shell over and serve it in that?
That, you know what? I would appreciate the presentation
like a
if
clam
they
chowder
did.
bowl.
No, and I thought, and for some reason, because I'm dumb, I guess I thought it'd be green.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen a lot of turtles at that point in my life. No, it's brown, and it kind of looks. It's not as thick as chili, but it kind of has that consistency from the meat, and it just tastes disgusting. It's awful. Don't do it. Don't do the turtle
Well, now I
soup.
kind of want to.
You're like one of those people?
Yeah. I like I said, I want to.
I
I
have
will
zero
try
desire
everything.
after the way he described it. You're like, now I kind of want to have it.
Yeah.
Why?
Just because somebody else people don't like sushi. I love sushi. People are different. Have you ever
I
had
know that.
Skyline chili? I know we got to go.
Yes.
Thoughts?
Not over spaghetti, though.
Okay.
Please.
Be listening or
have some meatballs.
Just do it right now. Your chance to score the $50 gift card. You don't have to be listening. You are listening. There's another page that's for the idiot here that doesn't say be listening. Caller 10 to the contest line right now. 617-931-0985. Gets a $50 gift card and a pair of tubing. Excuse me.
Did you eat some turtle soup?
No, a little Ritz crackers stuck in my throat. I needed more peanut butter on that one, Kendra.
Sorry, sir.
$50 gift card and a pair of tubing passes for Neshoba Valley Ski Area. Skiing, tubing, dining, dancing, celebrating by the fireplace at Boston's own winter playland, Neshoba Valley Ski Area in Westford. Get your gift cards for the holidays. SkiNeshoba.com. Cedric Maxwell, join us next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Stay tuned.
And Natalie Cole, I think, right?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Oh, no, I was thinking both outside.
No. This is for Cedric Maxwell. Requested some James Taylor. Cedric Maxwell is the Celtics color analyst of the 98.5 The Sports Hub Celtics Radio Network. Cedric is brought to you by East Coast Metal Roofing, and he joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Merry Christmas, Max.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to you guys this morning. Thank you for having me on. And love James Taylor. A little fire and rain in the morning, that is a beautiful thing.
Well, we're just trying to accommodate you, with the music that you request. Fred is not here this week, but Hardy, I'm here. Dan Roche is here.
Hi, Cedric.
Oh, God, Danny Rose. My man, Danny Rose.
Kendra Middleton is here, and we're all ready to talk about the Celtics, who shot 142 three-pointers last night. That was something else.
Close. It seemed like they did last night. Oh, my God, it was crazy. But when you're not hitting them, and the reason they got beat was not necessarily not missing some of those shots, but they couldn't rebound last night. I mean, Chicago kept getting rebound after rebound after rebound, and the Celtics never really had an answer.
I think defensively, too, last night, and you talked about it a little bit during the game, Max, but just defensively, it seemed like they were off, or they were, I don't know. You tell me, were they missing assignments? Were they just getting caught flat-footed? What was it? Because in the interior, especially when the Bulls would get into the paint, they just seemed to score at will, especially down the stretch.
Yeah, the pace of the game picked up, and the Celtics never really were able to make any adjustments. Most times this team really adjusts well because they're such a smart team. Very seldom you've seen the Celtics down in the fourth quarter at any time. But yesterday, sometimes in the 82-game schedule, you're going to have games like this where you're going to lose them. But, I wouldn't have any fear about this. And the fact that you have to play the same team again, I'd be more concerned right now about Chicago with the Celtics coming to town tomorrow.
Was it frustration from the game, you think, with Missoula and, getting tossed and everything else? After the game, we heard Brown, say a little bit about, what he said to the officials and things like that. Was it an overall frustration on that part too, Max, by the time stuff happened?
I love Danny Roche. He's so politically correct, keeping everything right there. He's making sure. No, they were pissed off, Dan, because they felt like they didn't get some calls. And that's going to happen. I think Joe Mazzulla felt it was a quick whistle. One time, Jaylen Brown was supposed to be doing the jump ball, and they put Pritchard in instead, so they lost that jump ball. And then they kept getting technicals. The three big people got technicals last night and just kind of lost their head. And at the end of the day, I think the Celtics played down to the competition. If the Celtics stay at their level, then there are not a lot of teams that are ever going to touch them.
Max, I saw the replay of that a couple of times. The jump ball, Pritchard was in there first.
You could argue he was in there. Me and Sean were looking at it, and we kept going back and forth about who had their hand in at some point. But Joe Mazzulla I think he was hot because the way the team was playing. They were just so uneven. Did they miss Sam Hauser, a shooter last night? Maybe he would have been a guy maybe to get a couple of shots off, but they weren't able to knock down shots. Drew Holiday, who's been so good, has struggled a little bit scoring the basketball. And you could almost tell from the beginning of the game, the first shot that Porzingis shot, and he kind of leaned to the side trying to aim it in, didn't even hit the backboard, didn't hit the rim. It just seemed like it was going to be one of those days, and it was.
We were talking earlier about the NBA product being down, which you can't really argue because of the ratings themselves, but we all had some opinions, maybe referees, maybe lack of star power. I'm curious what you think about the NBA product right now.
Let me see. The best game in the world, fast-paced game, being seen and played all over the world. I think sometimes you try to tweak with things too much. Remember before when the NBA talked about, we got to get scoring, we got to get more scoring, we're going to add the three-point shot. Hey, they did that. Sometimes be careful what you ask for. Now the game doesn't even look like anything I played because now it is shoot a three. If you want a layup, we'll give you a layup. back in the day, during the time, here I am, the old man and the, up and down and, back and forth. But back in the day, it was more bump and grind. It was playing in the paint. It was being a lot more physical. And sometimes I've showed Brown and Tatum this picture of myself when I got Barkley around the neck and somebody's holding Larry Bird. And they're like, whoa, man, that was crazy. But that was the way the game was played. Joe Mazzulla said something to me. I showed him a tape of myself, Ricky Mahorn. I give him a little pump fake, and he comes down on my head with 2 elbows. And Joe Mazzulla said, I like that. We need that in the NBA. So wait a minute, you can't have it both ways. But, I'm okay right now. I think the league is going to straighten it out. The first thing they have to do is straighten out the All-Star game, where they're changing the format. I think you want to get away from guys, clowning around because somebody's really going to get hurt. So the format has changed a little bit. Now, you ask me, I don't quite understand it, what the format is until I see it. But I think that, you have to do something to change the All-Star game and perception. But when the games really get to count and the NBA is playing well, I don't worry about it.
Max, you as a player could, find rebounds. You were wiry, yet you were strong. You just talked about the brawling and everything. How do you think you would have adapted with all these threes and everything else to today's NBA if you were just thrown in there as an athlete and your basketball background and your IQ?
First of all, I've been counting my money. Let me see. I've been making about $30 million a year. I wouldn't be talking to you guys right now. I'd be on the island someplace.
What you have that MVP thing you can auction
yes,
off, right?
Absolutely.
You ever hear what Max won as MVP?
Hey, don't tell her that. Hey,
no. What did you win as an MVP of the finals?
Yeah.
I got a watch, and it was a cheap one at that. Next week when I come on Friday, I'm going to make sure if I was upstairs right now, I'd grab the watch to show you the watch. It was just that bad. There was some cheap ass Seiko, which was horrible. I mean, you can't get one of those watches right now on Times Square if you wanted to. You get them all day. So for me to get that, but one thing they can't do, they can't take away the Finals MVP from you. So I do have that as a stone in my pocket.
That's fantastic. The All-Star format that they're talking about changing, it seems like they're making another move like the in-season tournament to do more like tournament-style play. And that's what it's going to be. They're going to have, groups of, they're going to bust them up into 4 different squads. They're going to have the Rising Stars as one of the squads. And I think they're trying to appeal to some segment of the audience, and whether it's the international crowd that's used to more in-season tournament stuff, or whether it's something. I think, Max, it's speaking to the long season and this long grind. We're going to break it up into smaller parts, and sometimes we're going to do it in like a segment within a segment, like the All-Star game. And maybe it's attention span. I can't pay attention to like 4 quarters of guys out there clowning and playing no defense. So let's give them like a shorter, more digestible product and see if that works. And I got to say, I don't think that's the worst idea in the world.
Well, I think it kind of helps. We'll see how it goes. But when the All-Star game really meant something back in the 80s, and the winning team got like $8,000 or $10,000 a player, man, people were going buck wow. They were trying to kill each other. Matter of fact, I asked Maurice Cheeks, the guy I played against. He used to play with Philadelphia. I said, and we're talking about the in-season tournament. I said, how many people would have got hurt if we were playing one game for $500,000? I mean, they'd had to have the ambulance lined up on the field, waiting to take people off. I don't know if you could have finished a game if you talk about playing for $500,000 per player. So, it's almost jovial when I start thinking about this team and how they played and the money which is made in this league right now. But the attention span has to be there if you're playing well, if you're playing hard. You think about baseball, how many games you have? 100, it seems like 200 games. Your attention span is gonna vary one way or the other. But I'm okay the way I look at my great athletes in this team, the Tatums, the Browns. Those guys right now really excite me, the way they play the game and when they're playing it the right way.
So speaking of the All-Star break coming up, that means that the season is reaching a halfway point. Obviously, the Eastern Conference has kind of it's starting to shake out a little bit differently than people thought at the beginning of the season. Maybe obviously the Bucks just won the NBA Cup. They had a horrible start to their season. Who do you think, kind of because we have, pretty much halfway the season under our belt now, might give the Celtics the best run for their money down the stretch?
The Eastern Conference right now, there's something about the Knicks, which would intrigue me. But the dark horse teams, the team that's playing well right now is Cleveland. Cleveland Cavaliers have been playing lights out. Donovan Mitchell, that group, they're long, they're athletic. But the dark horse team I'd look at might be Orlando with Van Carroll.
Yeah, as long as he can stay healthy.
If they get healthy, then anything could happen. But again, I believe if the Celtics play their full complement and have their team, and my broadcast partner, Sean Grandy, has said this, and I do believe this when he says, tell me how many games Kristaps Porzingis is going to play during the playoffs, and I will tell you what the Boston Celtics are capable of doing.
Yeah.
I got to say, if it's Porzingis or, like you mentioned earlier, Max, Sam Hauser, any of these guys that can go out there and shoot and affect the game that way, first and foremost. And Porzingis obviously does it in other ways, but I think I agree with Grandy. You need all of your shooters out there and available, because on nights when other guys are going to go cold, you got to find somebody, whether they're coming off the bench or someone who just needs to get the ball more, somebody whose shots are going down in a night like that, if you want them to go
and
deep
making
again.
plays. You just need it's like Drew Holiday just making plays against Indiana and things like that, right?
But making plays is part of it, but if you're going to rely on the three, you got to
shoot it.
Yeah, and Porzingis is one of those guys, and he made one late last night, but then like everybody else, he was missing.
And Max, what did I say to you? I said going from Marcus Smart to Drew Holiday was like going from heavy metal to smooth jazz, right?
and I asked you, I said, boy, that's the blackest thing you ever said, Dan Roche. I mean, you went so black on me. I was like, man, is your name Leroy? Damn, that was so serious the way you said that. But this is a game right now, and I'm surprised you guys haven't talked about Pritchard. Pritchard has just been unreal this year.
Well, I don't feel the need to, because Fred's not here. Fred's the one who always pushes back on Pritchard.
I know it. He pushes back, but Pritchard, and even myself, much as I watched the game, I've always said Pritchard was small, but he's a small bulldog. And when you watch him get out there and he gets to the glass, during the 80s, here I go again, old man. If he was in there trying to get some rebounds, man, one of them big guys would have whacked him so hard, man, he would have needed a nose guard, because that wasn't the way you played. They would warn you one time, don't come back in here again, little man. Don't do that. But Pritchard is, determined as ever to do it. And God bless him, the fact that, he's able to put his nose in there and do that. But don't be surprised if he's not going to be wearing some kind of nose thing eventually this year. I'm surprised.
Going to look like Rip Hamilton by the end of the season.
Next time Fred gives you crap about Peyton Pritchard, tell him he's minus 500 for Sixth Man of the Year. That's pretty much a lock.
Wow. Throw the stats in there, girl. I love that. Don't let that get in the way of a good story. But when you put those stats in there, it's just really how good he's been and this team and Joe Mazzulla. The only thing that for this city, the way things are going right now, this team is destined right there, again, to win a championship. And if they do that, they're going to put themselves in rare air in Celtic land. And that is really what they're playing for. And that's why I think they're going to be so good at the end of the year.
Yeah, and it'd be rare for the NBA. It's been a while since we've had a repeat champion, so that'd be awesome to see. Cedric, you're going to join us in studio next week?
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh, I thought you said you were going to bring the watch in.
Oh, well,
or 2 weeks.
See, I thought
I don't think you're here next week.
I could have the watch actually in my hand the way we're doing now and show you. But if you guys insist I come in the studio, hey, I'll take that drive.
No. Okay, you know what? I misunderstood. I would, whenever it is, I guess 2 weeks from now, when we're all back from a holiday and you join us again, if you could get the watch from upstairs and show it to us on camera, that'd be great.
I would show you that cheap ass watch.
Yep.
And all of you gonna laugh. You're gonna, That's what they got for them. I can do that one thing right now to LeBron James. I can walk up and go, hey, you got one of these?
I bet not.
No, bet not either.
Max, we'll give you a ride in the WBZ vehicle over to the station. How about that?
Whoa, Now we're talking top flight right there.
That's right.
You know, Danny, I happened to see the tape of Steve Burton with the alligator this morning. I don't know why it came across my timeline, but that was so
I am.
I got it.
All-timer.
Max, always good to talk to you. Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Fire and rain. Go ahead, James Taylor.
All
Next
right.
week. We
There
got
we go. All right, thanks.
Merry Christmas, Max.
Cedric Maxwell joining us once again. We got to step aside. Are we going to have time for the game here? We went late with Max.
That's okay. We can go. It's holiday book. Let's do it. Come on.
Okay, well,
quick headlines.
If Dan Roche has a game, we're going to do it next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
AFC West showdown last night for Thursday Night Football.
The singing, the writing, the production, it's all top notch.
I got to thank
top notch, Danny.
Bob
Top notch.
Doyle, Tom Ribeiro down at Craft Sports Productions.
Wow,
helping me out there.
That's really good.
Imagine if McCone could do that.
Right. A little prep work, right?
Shade at McCone.
I love McCone.
He's the best.
All right, so this is a game that Dan Roche came up with. It sounds like it's a golf song quiz.
Yes, and you need to give me the title and the singer, the artist of these golf songs.
I can't think of one, so I think your prediction is right. I will get these wrong because I'm stupid and I don't know.
Related songs.
Okay, all right. Well,
all right, so you may be able to connect the dots and do this well.
Okay.
You ready for the first one?
Let's go.
Speaking of holiday voices that we know.
His face when it started playing, it was so good.
You need this for your golf show.
Did you see his eyes just go?
Yes.
I've never heard this song. It sounds like Dean Martin.
It's close. You're in the right neighborhood, but not quite right. It is.
I'm dreaming.
Bing Crosby?
Bingo.
Bingo.
Wow.
Price is wrong.
Yeah, you didn't get that.
And the name of the song?
I have no idea.
Straight down the middle.
Thank you. Attaboy, Adam.
Bing
All right,
Crosby straight down the middle.
Yep, there's one.
Let's give him an easy one.
This is Isaac Hayes, the theme from Shaft.
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
Excellent.
Hey, 1 for 2. That's
Okay,
good.
I see what you're doing here. So the first song was an actual golf song.
There you go.
Now we're getting cute.
Yes.
Now we're getting cute. with it.
We're
Okay.
gonna skip the next one,
Gotcha.
Dan.
Yep.
And we're gonna go
Why?
to song because it's way too obscure.
Yes.
We threw some curveballs in here. Or what's the golf version of a curveball? Some slices in here.
I should have got this one. I should have got that one. I should.
Wrong, bitch.
That one I should have got.
Where are we going next,
We're gonna go to the very next one. He's gonna get this one.
Oh, this is the REM Driver 8.
Right.
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
You did not come up with the song.
This one was mine. I threw that one in for you. I wanted to give you something you'd actually get as a little holiday gift.
The next one is probably...
Do I get some credit, though, for getting that one that quickly?
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I have some slightly used Pro V1s that I picked up on the road on my way here that I could give you for a gift.
Was that not
Okay?
incredible?
That really was. We did fly a chopper over, but didn't see any of the residuals left because people took them.
Someone did send me photographs of a ball that he found later that morning as he was driving over to Wegmans, and he spotted one on the side of the road, pulled over and picked it up.
They pulled it out. Did he pull it out of the hole and go, Titleist? Kramer?
What is that, Titleist?
All right, so here's probably the most famous golf song.
We'll make this the last one. Here you go, Hardy.
Oh, this is Kenny Loggins, and the name of the song.
I owe my soul to the
My hair color is natural. Come on.
1992.
Now, what song is he famous for? Do you have that on hand?
I mean, I know the name of the song. Yes, this is a spoof of 16 Tons.
Yes, but think of the other song that he's most famous for. This artist. Can you play a little bit of that? 'Cause
Yeah,
when I drove from BWI to the Greenbrier, we played this song because of the ride as we were going.
I don't have it handy, but he's a gentleman. Actually, you know his holiday version of the 12 Days of Christmas with the Muppets.
Yeah,
Probably
bowl
better than
haircut.
anything else.
Baltimore Orioles famous song they play now during the 7th inning
Emo
stretch.
Phillips? I don't know.
They play during the 7th inning stretch in Baltimore. They play this artist.
It's John Denver.
The price is wrong, bitch.
That's John Denver.
I know, isn't it awesome?
That's a terrible, terrible song.
Well, let's fly like an eagle out of here. What do you say?
Yeah. Bogey-free round for you.
Wow.
You could do another Steve Miller Band song. You could have gone Swingtown.
You know what, Hardy? We didn't get to it, but I did pull Corrosion of Conformity's Albatross. Deep cut there for a deep golf term.
Could have gone Sabbath, Iron Man.
Yeah, could have gone that too.
Shut Up and Drive.
Be Quiet and Drive by Deftones.
Be Quiet and Drive.
Dan, excellent work, really. You always come prepared. And he started texting me about this on Tuesday. That's how
Okay.
much thought this man puts into his bits.
As as is often the case, the best part of this bit was the intro, so we'll have to play the intro again, please, maybe 2 more times.
Very good.
Before the end of the show. Fantastic job, Dan. That was fun.
And that
Well
makes
done.
up for what happened to us on the golf course. And fans, if you'd like to chime in on that, to the emails to Hardy or to the X Twitter.
Talk about that during the email segment.
We will.
Yeah.
We'll bring it up during the email
Awesome.
segment. And also the horrific thing you said to my wife as a result of that.
Yeah, but you started it.
Okay, all right. But next we go around the NFL after we get updated from Kendra here in just a moment here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Once again, this hour of Toucher and Hardy has been brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
All right, it's Friday, and every Friday night, FanDuel giving all customers a bigger payout on select NBA first bets. First bets lets you get in on the action from the opening tip. You can bet on things like who's going to score the first basket, which team is going to be the first to score 15 points, so on, so on, so on. Best thing, you don't have to wait until the end of the game to find out if you win. Look for Friday First in the FanDuel app to find your profit boost. FanDuel.com/Hardy to claim your Friday First profit boost. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in Massachusetts. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Hope is here. GamblingHelplineMA.org. Call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Call 1-800-GAM-1234.
Enjoy the perfect season at Patriot Place with the return of Winter Skate and Magic of Lights. Plus, enjoy shopping, dining, and more. Go to Patriot-Place for more info. Enjoy the holidays at Patriot Place.
Whether you've got a holiday party or just watching football this weekend, remember to reach for an ice cold, refreshing Coors Light. When those mountains are blue, it's time for a Coors Light.
'Tis the season to buy during the Ford Get Holiday Ready sales event at McGovern Ford of Saugus, Lowell, and Framingham. We have the commercial line of Ford trucks for your business. Ford Super Duty F-250, E350 cutaways with box, Super Duty F-450s, and F-650s with dump bodies, towing, hauling, and snow plowing. Do it with a Ford Tough Truck. Ask about 2024 Section 179 federal tax deductions. Palms Portuguese and Habla Espanol. Shop the Ford Get Holiday Ready sales event now at McGovernTruckCenter.com.
SPS New England is hiring. For over 40 years, SPS has built a solid reputation as a successful bridge, highway, transit, and marine contractor. SPS New England Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer. Females and minorities are encouraged to apply. SPS is hiring for a variety of positions: project managers, engineers, superintendents, foremen, laborers, and CDL drivers. Great benefits and plenty of tools to make sure you succeed and advance. Build your career with SPS New England. Join their team. Apply today at spsne.com.
Say hola to T-Mobile's Go 5G Plus plan and stay connected with los tuyos. Plus, get the new Samsung Galaxy S24 on us when you switch. And now, it's easier than ever to join T-Mobile with your eligible matrícula consular. With 24 monthly bill credits for well-qualified customers plus tax, contact us before canceling entire account to continue bill credits or credit stop and balance on required finance agreement due. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See T-Mobile.com.
This holiday season, it's not about the gifts your children unwrap. It's about the potential those gifts can help them unlock. Give the lasting gift of education with the help of a MIFA UFund 529 account. It's a plan that allows you to save over time and use that money for qualified education expenses at schools nationwide. Start saving for their education with a tax-advantaged UFund college investing plan. Learn more at fidelity.com/UFund. The UFund College Investing Plan is offered by MIFA and managed by Fidelity Investments. If you or the designated beneficiary is not a Massachusetts resident, you may want to consider, before investing, whether your state or the beneficiary's home state offers its residents a plan with alternate state tax advantages or other state benefits such as financial aid, scholarship funds, and protection from creditors. Units of the portfolios are municipal securities and are subject to market volatility. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Hey Hey, so for the Albrecht Auto Group's Marlboro and Milford Nissan, now there's a great offer on the 2024 Nissan Aria all-wheel drive during the Nissan year-end sales event. Lease Aria for only $288 per month with 24 months, or buy for just $45,887 with 0% APR financing for up to 72 months. Get respected Albrecht Group's Marlboro Nissan on Boston Post Road or Milford Nissan on East Main Street.
This includes $39.99 down, Tier 1 credit. All rebates to dealer, 10,000 miles per year. 24 months must be from dealer stock. First payment, registration, tax, title, acquisition, and inspection sticker. Applicable state sales tax due up front. Purchase and lease offers cannot be combined. See dealer for details. Expires 1/6/25.
When you're thinking about your next haircut, use your head. Head to any of the 120 Boston and Providence Supercuts salons. Supercuts. Real smart hair.
'Tis the season for avoiding traffic. Hey, it's Big Jim. Take the commuter rail to a parade, a show, to shop, or to connect with family and friends. Get tickets with the M-Ticket app and go from seeing brake lights to holiday lights with the commuter rail.
This hour of Toucher and Hardy was brought to you by Heineken. Nothing makes your holiday party more festive than the rich taste of Heineken. Celebrate with friends, family, and the world's leading premium lager. Heineken. Heineken, socialize responsibly this holiday season.
WBZ-FM and HD. Patriots! From the opening kickoff to the final play.
Touchdown!
Your home of the pass. Yes. 98.5. The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
Thursday night football was an AFC West showdown between the Chargers and the Broncos last night. Both teams were fighting for a way into the postseason. Broncos were leading heading into the half, but the Chargers would come out as your winners 34-27 after a massive fourth quarter for them. Another NFL news, former running back Adrian Peterson was announced last night to be having legal troubles once again with warrants out for his arrest in Fort Bend County, Texas. Last night, the Celtics had some struggles in the fourth quarter against the Chicago Bulls and fell 117-108 at TD Garden. Head coach Joe Mazzulla had to be held back by several coaches on the court after the game from the referees. They will finish their home against the Bulls tomorrow. And another loss for the Bruins last night on the final game of their road trip in Edmonton. Connor McDavid scored the tying goal with 2:21 left in regulation. They would eventually fall in overtime. Leon Draisaitl scored his 900th career point on 3 assists last night, and the Bruins are back on the ice tomorrow night against the Buffalo Sabres. And the college football playoff starts tonight with number 10 Indiana taking on number 7 Notre Dame at 8 p.m. Our own Roche has reported that there should be some snow in that game. Sports Hub headlines were brought to you by the Albrecht Auto Group. Zoe's auto dealer. Get respect at Albrecht with 7 locations and thousands of new and pre-owned vehicles. Get the right vehicle at the right price now at albrechtauto.com. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub, Boston's Hub for Sports. I'm Kendra Middleton, and your next update in 30 minutes.
Start your day.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Work through your day.
What's that thing we do at the end of the show?
And end your day.
I'm not giving you an opinion. I don't know.
Right here. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Fred, what's it like to work with Hardy and Wallace?
What a golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports Hub.
Around the NFL with Toucher and Hardy.
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
We are going to go around the NFL with Kendra Middleton, who has opinions on games. Will she get to the window on games? See, I'm learning the terminology that you like to use, Kendra. Sometimes you'll have an opinion, but you won't get to the window.
The window's the old horse racing term, right?
Yeah, because you've always got to have, people hate to say that you say the word lean, but you've got to have a lean. There's a difference between feeling some type of way about how a game will go and being willing to put your money on it.
What's the most you've ever bet?
Me?
Yeah, one single thing.
I'll tell you off the air.
Okay.
My mom's
What's
listening.
The most you've ever bet on a coin toss?
Really?
No Country for Old Men. Come on.
Yes.
Kendra Middleton is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Kendra, we're going to start with Brian Callahan, who had this to say in his press conference in Tennessee.
Complete and total bull, if you want my honest opinion.
Whoa! He was asked if his team was soft, and he said...
Complete and total bull, if you want my honest opinion. These guys are tough, man. They go after it every day. I mean, just because we don't win games doesn't mean we're soft. Yeah, that makes me relatively angry that would be some presumption. That means you just don't watch. you don't do anything about it, that you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know what you're looking at. So I'm not going to stand for anybody calling his football team soft. I think that's bull. You can kind of shove that one right up your, to be honest. So
whoa, which is what any coach would say about their team when asked, right?
Look, disappointing game. We came out, we started fast. What I would say is, look, we're a soft football team across the board.
Oh, wait a second.
But
earlier in the season, that of course was Gerard Mayo. By the way, both the Titans
they responded.
Both the Titans and the Patriots 3-11 on the season.
I cannot believe. I don't even think that he believes that. You can't tell me that Mason Rudolph isn't mentally soft. Will Levis, L7 weenie. Calvin Ridley weenie. He can't even run the right route ever for any reason. Your team is soft. Just move on.
All right, so they will move on. They will go to Indianapolis to play the Colts. Do you have any opinion on this game, Kendra?
I kind of like the Colts in this spot. They're giving the Titans 3 points. I just don't. When you have the quarterback issues that both of these teams have, you've got to kind of pick a side, and I'm going to side with obviously the Colts in this situation. I don't love Mason Rudolph. I don't love Will Levis. I think that the Titans are clearly frustrated. When you have a press conference like that, I don't think it bodes well for anything.
And last week they gave up, right?
Yeah.
3 touchdowns to Joe Burrow, another touchdown to Chase Brown, another touchdown to Chase Brown out of the backfield. So, yeah, they're done.
All right, let's move on.
Anthony Richardson's a good play.
It's about who wants to play spoiler more, and for me, it's not the Titans. It's definitely the Colts. I think that they're going to keep fighting through the season. I know that they finish predominantly divisional, but still, they've still got some fight.
Let's talk Michael Penix Jr. here as the Falcons be home to take on the New York Giants. Penix getting some good news. Where were you when you found out that you were getting the nod this week?
I was actually shopping. I was shopping with my girlfriend. We was at Costco. I was actually getting a hot dog, and whenever I got the call, I wasn't hungry no more. So.
By the way, one of the things my kids have asked for Christmas this year is they want us to get a Costco membership.
That's what I want for Christmas.
My wife and daughter go, and it's amazing.
Okay, so for whatever reason, I don't have a firm opinion on this. We started going to BJ's Wholesale Club when we moved here 20 years ago. We just never went to Costco. You want to know why they want to go to Costco?
Why?
Hot dogs.
Yes.
And people talk about the hot. I've never had a Costco.
They've survived inflation. It's like the only thing that's survived inflation is the Costco hot dog.
Explain that. Now, seriously, I'm an idiot. I've been in a Costco once, but we're not members there, so I have no reason really to go in. Is it the hot dog that you purchase while you're there and eat while you're there? Is that what people are talking about?
Okay, let me ask you guys this. When I go grocery shopping, the last thing I want to do when I get home is cook a meal with the groceries I just bought. Costco has figured out that, okay, you just went in, you did all of this shopping that you had to plan for because there's way more effort into planning to buy things in bulk. You just go, you sit down after you do your shopping, you mindlessly eat a glizzy, and you go home.
What's a glizzy?
A hot dog.
Who calls it a glizzy?
Everybody.
A Costco hot dog is called a glizzy?
All hot dogs are called
All hot dogs are glizzies.
So,
do you know this?
During COVID,
do you know glizzy?
We had neighborly gatherings.
Please answer. Do you know glizzy?
The guy that was sitting there said he's not going to eat.
Why won't he answer?
He said he's not going to get the vaccine. And my wife was furious. You won't get the vaccine, but you just told us 10 minutes ago you ate 3 glizzies at Costco.
How have I reached the age of 53? I've never heard glizzy before.
I don't know.
You're learning and growing, Hardy.
Getting glizzy with it. You
to the window, glizzy. Hardy's learning things.
Yeah. Getting glizzy with it. You never heard that song?
Oh.
I think you guys are messing with me right now.
No, we're really
Google
not.
it. Google.
It's
ask Google what a glizzy is.
Yes. For a hot dog.
And I'll preview the Falcons
Google
game.
glizzy Borden.
Glizzo.
Glizzo, baby.
There you go. Way to work. We're all about fun today, Hardy.
But this must be like just not Boston because Kendra knows what it is.
No, it's a national thing.
I've never heard this in my life.
Do you understand the concept of Costco and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you we're members at the other one.
Yeah. Oh, the other one. You're not going to mention it on the air.
I'm always reluctant to say the name of it out loud because someone's going to make a cheap joke at my expense if I say BJ's. Go ahead.
I didn't.
Go ahead.
No.
I like BJ's.
No, I'm not. I'm not Fred.
See?
Okay.
All right, Michael Penix Jr. getting the start with the Falcons. They're home to play the Giants.
I really like the Falcons in this spot. The NFC South is pretty much as close as everybody thought it was going to be between the Bucs and the Falcons. Bucs currently sitting at 8-6, Falcons 7-7. Falcons easily have the better schedule throughout the remainder of the season to be able to clinch this division. I don't think that there is going to be a more fun offense to watch this week between Michael Penix, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. I think that that is a great mesh for all four of them to be able to play together. I think that they're very similar, young in age. I think off-field chemistry is going to translate, and what better way to dip your toes into the NFL than playing against the Giants? I think the spread is a little too high.
Will they cover?
I don't think they cover. So I'm going Falcons money line, even though you might have to buy into it a little bit, but Giants to cover.
What's the line again?
It is currently 8.5.
It's high.
Total sitting
Giants.
at 42. I would love the under here as well. I absolutely will be getting to the window on the under
and
here.
the Giants are a classic backdoor cover team, right?
Great.
Late.
Great shout.
Okay.
Yeah, I just forgot you got a first-time rookie quarterback. As much as college football as he played, as old as he is, this is his first time taking a snap under center in a real NFL game. I think that makes sense for him, and the Giants obviously are just not going to put up any
It's fun to
points.
watch, too.
And they're tanking. Giants, I think, are full-on tank mode.
All right, what's Dan Campbell have to say after his team suffered a loss at the hands of the Buffalo Bills?
You know, what happens is you get used to eating filet, and I'm talking to all of us. And everything's good, life's good, you know. But you forgot what it was like when you had nothing and you ate your molded bread. Sometimes you got to get punched in the mouth and remember what it used to be like to really appreciate where you are. And we'll do that.
Mixing metaphors there with the fillets and the moldy bread and the punched in the mouth. And see, I don't look at them as getting punched in the mouth in totality. In terms of what the Bills' offense did to them, yeah, they got punched in the mouth. The troubling thing about the Lions is they can go out there and score 42 points and lose a football game.
Right, because they have a fourth-string defense going right now.
It's just brutal. So, also, I don't love their schedule on the way out. Kendra, where are you on the Lions right now?
I love the Lions this week. I don't think Dan Campbell's going to lose 2 in a row, especially not to the Chicago Bears team that's really having some struggles with Caleb Williams. And the Lions, as much as they, seem like an NFC beast right now, the thing is that the Eagles are right on their tail. I don't think the Vikings are going to catch them in the division. I don't think that there's a chance that happens. But the thing is that the Eagles truly are right there if they want that bye. They can't let up. Their schedule gets tougher from here. As much as people want to hate on the 49ers this season, they're not the team that we thought they were going to be because of injuries.
By no means, but I hate these games around the holidays. And look, I think the Lions beat the Bears also.
Yep.
But they're on the road. Then they got to go on the road again to San Francisco, and that team is disappointed.
And then home against the Vikings.
They're not a total crap football team. And then home against the Vikings, who are a good football team.
Yeah, the 49ers are well coached, regardless of how people feel about Shanahan. I think he's a good coach. So, and I think that they are a team that's not going to roll over at the end of the season. They're absolutely going to try and play spoiler.
What's the line against the Bears?
6.5. I take Lions all day in that. Love Lions.
Do the Lions win the NFC North, Hardy?
See, it's in doubt because if you said they're playing with a fourth-string defense right now, they can't stop anybody. I mean, you saw what happened in recent weeks with that team, what they are willing to do to keep from giving the ball back over. And the craziest thing I've seen out of the Lions this year, and I think I'm used to Dan Campbell and what he's going to do in some of his moves.
That's the thing.
The onside kick with 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter, every once in a while I get caught off guard because he's like, now I like my chances of recovering an onside kick better than stopping Buffalo from scoring starting at the 30-yard line.
That's the thing. Both teams are 12-2. Vikings not even debatably have a harder stretch to finish the season. They are at the Seahawks, home against the Packers, and then obviously finish out at the Lions. I think that they win one of those games maybe, so I think the Lions should, as long as they don't roll over, but that's the big question mark.
What's Detroit on the road, Hardy, and what's Detroit in the NFC North this season?
You've got a computer in front of you. Why don't you look it up?
4-0
I've got
in the division, 6-0 on the road.
Thank you.
Relax, it'll be fine.
I mean, when you quizzing me, I have to know their home.
I wasn't
road
quizzing you. I just wanted you to breathe
record.
easy. I care about you.
Well, then don't put it in the form of a question. You try it this way. Say, here, Hardy, here's something that might make you feel better.
Hey, Hardy.
Yeah.
Here's something that might make you feel a little bit better.
What's that?
Lions are undefeated on the road, 6-0. And in the NFC North, the tough division that it's been, 4-0.
Oh, did they get a bunch of players back on defense also?
Eventually. Next year.
Aiden Hutchinson will be back for the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah.
When's Anzalone back? 2-3 weeks?
Yeah. It's... Again, you're talking about multiple absences, and Anzalone it's a good player, not going to change things. Not going to stop a team from Buffalo like scoring more than 40 points. If you're relying on your offense to score 42 every week in order for you to win, it's not a great recipe.
Now you're talking like a doom and gloom fan. Don't be like that.
I felt so good.
Don't be a realist, as they say.
I felt so
Show some
good
optimism.
last year, and I felt
last
so
year
good
was
for
different. Now it's
most
going
of this
through,
year.
but they're tough. They've shown it. They've responded. They're 12-2 for God's sake.
Okay, let's talk Pittsburgh here for a moment because Kendra has thoughts on the Steelers matchup.
I do. So the big thing with
At the Ravens, by the way.
Yeah, also 6.5. The thing is that Mike Tomlin doesn't get got twice in a season. The Steelers, they beat the Ravens earlier this season. I think it's the Ravens' time to win this game. If you look at the rest of the schedules, just because this is the point in the season where you need to have people look ahead or not, especially because both of these teams seem like they're going to be probably... I know that Bert said upset maybe for the Ravens in the postseason, depending on who they play. I think the Ravens and the Steelers could be a juggernaut in the postseason. Ravens coming off of a win over the Giants. They have Texans on deck and then Browns at home. The big thing for the Steelers is that they play the Ravens this week, but they're home against Kansas City next week, and then they're home against the Bengals. I think they've got a way tougher way the rest of the season. I say Ravens win this game.
It's a Justin Tucker game.
He sucked this year.
The first meeting, it was bad.
He has sucked this year.
So does he respond when the veteran, the grizzled veteran, who's come through time and time again, arguably one of the best kickers in NFL history, does he come back?
It's different for kickers, though. You know, if you're talking about a linebacker or you're talking about a running back, you can will your way through those situations. The kicker, it's all ahead. It's all in the head for these guys. They've got it. They've got the leg for the most part to do it. Just can you do it in that moment? So the grizzled veteran thing, I don't think factors in when you're talking about a kicker.
All right, it's your opinion.
I just don't get the same sense.
Well, I get a different sense.
Well,
sorry for being glass half full around the holidays.
Glass half full of what?
Eggnog.
What's your holiday cocktail? You put a little rum in there?
No, just eggnog.
Yeah, just a little eggnog?
You guys like eggnog?
I love eggnog.
I love eggnog. Do you like the flavored eggnogs?
No.
No, neither do I. The vanilla eggnog, my
Nope.
son insists upon. It just tastes like vanilla ice cream.
And I was so mad Starbucks stopped making the eggnog latte. A, it had 43,000 calories, and B, it tasted so good.
I hate eggnog.
You know what? You just reminded me. You've got a carton of eggnog right now. Not once have I put it in my coffee yet this year. It starts tomorrow.
Okay, I could do that.
Splash.
I can't drink it straight, but I could probably do the coffee thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's delicious.
See how we all came together on that?
All right, great job, Kendra. Thank you. Any other thoughts on Patrick Mahomes? He's going to play, we think.
I think that's silly.
Do we think he's going to play?
Oh, yeah. I think the team kind of hinted at, I'm not sure if they officially announced it, but from what I've read online, it seems like he's definitely playing.
And that does seem foolish.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I've broken a lot of bones, and I've had a high ankle sprain. I would take a broken bone over a high ankle sprain 10 times out of 10.
So has always said the high ankle sprain, especially early in the season, is the worst because it takes so long to heal, and it can reemerge at any moment. So I don't know. That later in the season doesn't necessarily make it any better, but the fact is, if you have a chance to rest it, I don't know why they would. And they have the chance, but I don't think they're going to either. All right, we will do our award-winning email segment. We got the stack. We got it all happening here.
We have to rely on our listeners in Kendra to decide why I've been angry at Hardy for so long, because he started it by being angry at me.
We're going to find out. We'll tell you the story why. Here in a few moments on Toucher and Hardy here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Touch.
never had to knock on wood. But I never had it yet.
Oh, you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
It's Toucher and Hardy without Fred. We have emails we will get to here, and Dan teased a story. It's just a story. It's just something that happened. I don't even know if people will care all that much. It wasn't that bad. Dan, it wasn't that bad.
All right, 617-779-0985.
Wow.
Nailed it.
Hardy, is it just Hardy at 98.5 The Sports Hub?
Yeah.
Email, Twitter. What are you in that? Something Pool, Hardy, Rob Radio. What are you on Twitter?
At Hardy Radio.
At Hardy
at
Radio.
Hardy 985.
And you're at
Instagram.
Kenny, Kenni.
Middleton, yeah.
And I'm at Roche, ROCHIEWBC. So, Kenny, right? Can I call you Kenny?
Of course.
We got invited to play as part of the media at the U.S. Open, site of the U.S. Open in Brookline, the country club. Awesome. And Hardy and I arranged it so that we could play around together, which was tremendous. Was Jim McBride in our group too? Or was he just there with us?
I think he was just there with us
Yes.
in the photo. We did not play with Jim.
Right. So we started shotgun. So we started on like the 14th hole, maybe something like that.
Sounds about right.
And so we're playing, and I'm playing pretty well, Kendra. And I'm a 18 handicap. I'm hot sometimes. I'm cold sometimes. Terrible. So we're playing, and we're about through 10, 11, 12 holes. And I'm walking, and I'm having a great time. And all of a sudden, Hardy says, who's keeping score because he's Mr. Golf and everything, he says, "Hey, do you know what you shot, like, statistically for the front nine, for your first nine?" I'm like, don't tell me, because it'll screw me up for the rest of my round. I'm having such fun. 39. Boom. I proceed to blow up. I'm all over the golf course mentally. It's just not the same. I'm not having fun anymore. I shoot 52 on the back. So that ruined my round, ruined my day. And then he got mad at me because I swore at him when he told me my score. And I'm like, that's just one of the rudest things you can do to get in the head of somebody. That's like being a mean opponent because we're out there having fun. I'm just having a good time. Will you not say it? Please don't say that. 39. And he ruined my day.
So I told the story a little differently. You were even par on those holes. But I think you're right. 39. I just pulled up the scorecard.
Did you really?
Yeah, I took a photo of the scorecard that day, and it was so bad I didn't even, because we were playing a best ball.
Yeah.
I didn't even mark your score down on those closing holes because you were blowing up so bad. So it was, I believe you shot 39 on those, our middle 9 holes, which are the front 9 holes of the golf course, and a 51 on the back. I think you
52,
shot.
I think.
Okay, you shot over 90 with a 39 on the front 9.
And why?
Because I insisted on telling you how well you were playing.
Right. That's not a dink move?
Of course it was. And I knew what I was doing.
Why did you do it, though?
Because I wanted to see how
I responded. I'm not mentally tough.
I wanted to see how soft you were.
I'm really soft.
So here's the other part of the story, Kendra. Weeks later, my wife sees Dan at an event. A nice event that Dan is hosting. It's some charitable event at Fenway Park. You probably remember what the event was, Dan, or you don't because you host so many, being a charitable guy. My wife knows who you are, knows that we know each other and are friends. At least I thought we were friends.
And I had never met his wife.
Never met my wife. She goes up to him at this charitable event, and Dan's there in his suit playing the role of Dan Roche. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Fenway Park. What a wonderful cause we're all gathered here for today. Hello, Dan Roche. So nice to meet you. My wife goes up. Hi, my name is Marcy Poole. I'm actually married to Rob Poole, or Hardy as you know. Dan spins on her like a pit viper and says, "He effed me. He effed me on the golf course. He effed me." And then turns back around and starts glad-handing everybody else.
Imagine if you were in a purple suit for that.
Oh, yes. I could ask for her digits.
Which, by the way, do you want to share what you just shared with us?
What?
That you got a call from work?
Yes. Somebody, Sports Center has requested our Kendrick Bourne video from yesterday.
You're going to be on national TV rizzing up Mrs. Bourne.
I have to pull it up again now in case you missed it. If you have it handy back there, Adam, could you play it? The Dan Roche audio from again, Kendrick Bourne is a really nice guy, and he's very well dressed. And he let it out that his wife was in charge of like picking out his clothes and putting.
And my wife had told me to up my suit game because she saw Kendrick and I after the game on our fifth quarter post game show.
Right. So Dan gets into the media scrum with Kendra when he's talking about, you mentioned Kendrick Bourne. Excuse me,
Kendra Bourne.
Kenny. I call him Kenny, like you call him Kendrick Kenny. Kendrick Bourne, and he's mentioned his wife again. How his wife does a great job of picking out the clothes, and Dan Roche says this.
Can I get a number in a respectful way for the strictly wardrobe part of life?
Hold on, what you mean? Hold on, what is he asking? What are you asking?
Can I get her number? He really didn't understand why that's an inappropriate ask.
I said strictly for fashion.
No, you said in a respectful way, but I'm gonna call her up. I think you need to come with more of an explanation.
One of the security
beginning.
guards came out after as we're walking to practice, and he goes, I almost wrote her number down on a Post-it card and handed it to you as we were walking out to practice. My buddy Brian.
It's better than you sliding in her DM.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Even though he gave you the opportunity to do that.
More respectful. By the way, Howie Sylvester, a long-time Patriots
Legend.
Bruins producer here at 98.5. The Sports Hub, retired last year, but Howie also worked at Sullivan's on Castle Island for a long time. And he said, if you ever came into Sullivan's and asked for a glizzy, we would have shot you in the face. So,
but that's Howie's personality.
I don't. You probably could have asked for things on the menu properly, and also been in danger of being shot in the face by Howie, because he's not always the kindest soul. But I don't feel bad about knowing what a glizzy is.
While I
never hearing
respect
the term
him
glizzy.
and his opinion, I don't think that he is the Jesus Christ of the matter.
Jim Kerwin in Providence. Hardy, don't worry about not knowing the term glizzy. You are a grown adult with self-respect, so it's a good thing that you didn't know that terrible, awful term for a hot dog. Don't beat yourself up over it. Only adult children use that term, Dan.
So, Kendra, it's good to know that we are adult children, and we have no self-respect.
Well, Liam McGalloway on Twitter said that you're definitely a glizzy gladiator, Hardy.
I don't know what that means.
A hot dog and gladiator.
It means
you're the king.
It means you like to eat a hot dog.
You would go in there, and you would wear the crown. You'd be on your throne.
Yeah.
Give me another.
I have something to say, but I think 12 would dump me if I said it.
Okay.
He's talking to Jim Lau, so you're good. Say whatever you want.
Yeah, he's not even.
Yeah, and then Laus will be like, yeah, no more hours for her. Thank you.
All right, Harry said, yes, I beg people not to tell me my score. 100% agree.
Is that considered bullying?
Yes. Thank you.
Do you think that was bullying?
Thank you, Kenny.
Not even in a constructive way.
Nope. Not even nice. Not even nice. And he
'Cause
accuses me of not being nice. And he tells people when he's on the air, because he's got the radio power, oh, Roche, he's not a nice guy.
You have way more power and access to media than I do.
Nope.
But he doesn't get 4 hours a day to
Yes.
just kind of shoot the crap the same way. He does his stuff, he gets his hit, and he goes home. He can't be like, by the way,
Thank you.
Hardy, that guy stinks.
Oh.
And you said it for like a year after it happened. You just kept telling people I'm not a good guy. And here's the story.
There's instances where bullying
said it
is
once.
okay.
You said it multiple times.
I've said
in
it
the
twice
50s.
now. I've said it.
He's actually still mad, I can tell. Yeah.
When you play, though, I mean, how much crap do you talk amongst your friends that you play with?
Not much.
Oh, my God.
I'm very respectful. It's fun.
It's nonstop with us. With the guys that I play with, it never, ever, ever stops.
That's fine. But this was just, you're at the course. It's a dream course.
It is a dream course. We were playing the open
round
layout
of your life.
Yeah, you were. You really were.
It's like Caddyshack-esque.
I just
You
wanted
could have been lightning. That would have been the same thing.
I wanted you to be aware of how well you were playing.
What a dink move.
Yeah, that's kind of mean. That is kind of mean. It was like his one shot to do the thing, and you had to twist the
Hey,
knife.
you're throwing a no-hitter, said Hardy in the 7th inning at Fenway.
Have you pulled the knife out of his back yet?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Or did you twist it?
He's a twister.
I want to bring up something that Dan helped us out with yesterday. The golf ball spillage there on the Westwood Canton line yesterday. I won't retell the entire story, but a box of golf balls got dumped out onto the road. They were Titleist Pro V1s. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I drove right past it. It had to have been moments after it happened. I couldn't stop. There was too much traffic. It's a nasty intersection. I was torn in three different directions. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Dan was listening yesterday. Thank you for listening, Dan. He texted me. He said, we got a call into WBZ Channel 4 about this incident. And he said, did a chopper really fly over to take a look?
They sent a chopper out because it would have been a nice visual if there were golf balls everywhere.
Right,
You know
everywhere.
what I mean? Yeah.
But no such luck. They had been scooped up by less careful motorists by that point. I got an email from someone yesterday with actual photos of the golf ball that he found later on. So it was not crazy. It did have some logos on it. Another email. Go ahead, Kendra.
Oh, I was going to say, go ahead. You can get through this email because I've got things. We're going to keep on the Hardy grind after this.
Another email received a couple of days ago about the Christmas song, which is the updated version of the Applebee's song. Came from a guy named Jeffrey Robeson, who we did the bit yesterday. We played it for Fred. I didn't mention Jeffrey had sent us the email. I kind of forgot. It got lost in the shuffle. He said, just use it as a rejoin. It'll send Fred off the rails. We ended up doing an entire segment of it. Last night, out to dinner with the family. Me, Marcy, Katie, Kelvin, we're all sitting at Town Spa, right?
I thought you were going to say Applebee's. It would have been awesome.
No, we're it's in a Town Spa. Guy comes up to the table on his way out. He goes, hey, I sent you the email about the fancy Christmas. That was awesome. Thanks. I'm like,
wow.
Oh, what's your name? And I'm like, my wife says, fancy Christmas. I said, I don't know what he's talking about. A fancy Christmas. It dawned on me after he already left, the fancy Christmas song. So thank you again to Jeffrey Robeson who emailed me.
Very nice.
Again, I emailed him late last night. I'm like, now I know, and thank you for the idea.
Just two quick ones before I get to my final point. Someone said Hardy more like Glizzy Gobbler, and Hardy eats glizzies the long way.
Oh, okay. So these are all fellatio and okay.
Just to continue, because you bullied him, so I'm gonna bully you for a second. The amount of people who have tweeted me about the party people thing this morning has been unreal. Shout out Jimmy Stewart being one of them. But someone said that I should change it to be "What's up, Hardy people."
That would have been nice for the last 4 hours. It's kind of too late now.
Well, but then you get to be the single shout-out that you want to be.
Well, it's not what I'm clamoring for, but I think it would have been a nice gesture.
Well, that's what you said that you wanted it.
It would have been a nice gesture. No.
You said you want to feel like
I'm
talking
because
to you.
People is still a collective. It's still a plural.
Yeah, but it's better than... we went through this last week when you weren't here. It's better than being like, what's up, guys, because that's not inclusive.
That's pasta.
And there's a lot of women that listen
up, guys?
to this show.
But wait, friend Don Maxon? Definitely dink move.
Yes.
It was his text.
Agree.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you for playing that. Was that you, Artie, who played pasta, or was that Adam?
That was me.
That was Adam. I have one more really nice email here that I want to read. Okay. This is from somebody who contributes a lot to the show. Zach said, hey, Hardy, wanted to let you know tomorrow, December 21st, my partner JJ and I will be getting married. We're excited for this day to be making our lives what we want them to be. If you can, would you mind giving a shout out over the airwaves? Would be a nice affirmation and way to share this joy with you all. Our wedding song will be Don't Change by INXS. Happens to be one of my all-time faves. Happy holidays, Zach. Zach, congratulations to you and JJ. Zach has given a lot to the show.
Who is it? Zach and JJ?
Yes.
Zach, JJ, Dan Roche from WBZ Sports here. Just want to say heartfelt congratulations on what you're about to...
sorry, 12. Hub headlines. Here we go.
Sports Hub headlines.
Good morning, Hardy people. As Hardy would like me to say. Last night we had an AFC West showdown between Justin Herbert and Bo Nix. Broncos were leading heading into the half. Chargers would come out victorious 34-27. Both teams
Sports Hub.
We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
It's time for The Stack here on Toucher and Hardy on 98.5. The Sports Hub. Stack is brought to you by D'Angelo Grilled Sandwiches. Have lunch with a legend this week. D'Angelo's legendary number 9 sandwich, grilled sirloin or chicken, smothered in onions, peppers, mushrooms, and American cheese, only at D'Angelo. Dan Roche will care nothing about this, but I just saw this. And Nicholas dropped into Slack. Slim Dunlap, replacements guitarist, dead.
Yeah, sad.
Yeah, died at the age of
Favorite
73.
yours, favorite of mine.
Yeah, that's a real American rock and roll band, the Replacements. There aren't too many of them. You rattle off the great American rock and roll bands. What are they? What are the great American rock and roll bands, Dan?
Oh.
Well, you could name 2. Can you name 2?
No, not right now. Not on the spot.
But any rock and roll band in America ever.
I can't, all I'm thinking of is the Who and the Kinks and everything else.
Okay, those are British.
I know. That's why I can't.
Okay, well, just name an American one.
No, my palms are sweaty. No.
Kendra, an American rock and roll band.
Aerosmith.
There you go.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. They played in the barn right down the street from us in North Andover.
Okay,
does that really young?
Does that bring to mind anyone else?
No.
No.
Kenny Chesney?
No.
Are you looking for Van Halen or the Eagles?
Van Halen, the Eagles, not a rock and roll band.
I understood the assignment.
I contend the Eagles are not a rock band. They were a band that rocked once, Life in the Fast Lane, but the rest was country.
Oh, and by the way, do you mind if I say just a quick my sympathies and condolences to the family of Jim Donaldson, longtime Providence Journal columnist, covered the Patriots. Just a good guy. Loved golf, Hardy. Loved golf. Still golfing to this day. Passed away suddenly. I just want to send out my condolences to a lot of people, a lot of the football writers, Mike Reese and company. We all knew him and loved him. Stacey James, all the Patriots people. Just a real good man. And my sympathies to the family.
I think you're going to be remembered very fondly, Dan. Do you think about how you're going to be remembered?
No.
A party person.
I think of if my job goes away, I could be a funeral home director. That's how I look at it, because I have a lot of dark suits, white shirts, and ties. And again, I'm sorry for your loss. If there's anything I can do for you and your family, please let me know.
That is the main qualification for a funeral home director. Do you own dark suits?
Yep.
Yeah.
And aren't you scared that if you didn't do this, what the heck would I be capable of doing?
The rest of it you just learn on the job.
Yes.
I think, in terms of the bodies.
I used to work in high school. I worked at a funeral home.
Oh, and what did you do?
I used to get to Smith's with my brother at 9 a.m. from school, go down to the funeral home. I had a suit in the closet and would put the suit on, and it was for elderly people that didn't have a family. We would be a pallbearer, bring the casket, never see anybody, bring the casket to the limo to the church inside, go down the street to have breakfast, come back, come inside the church, get the casket, bring it to the cemetery, and then get a ride back to the funeral home, back in class at like 10:30, 11 o'clock.
You just described the opening plot to the Pallbearers Club.
Oh, really?
By Paul Tremblay. Now, careful. One of those people you're working with might be a vampire, and you may not know for sure until the end of the book.
Okay.
I'm just saying, spoiler alert.
Who do you think would be the most likely to be a vampire that works here?
Great question. Jimmy Stewart.
Nicholas.
Next.
I'm with Jimmy Stewart.
Yes.
Nick.
Gemelli? Mm-hmm. Vampire?
His kid? No.
He is kind of pale.
He has heart problems. He can't be a vampire. They die.
Do vampires have strokes?
No, that's what, vampires can't die.
Maybe.
Gemelli definitely can.
Wait a second.
Can we leave on an optimistic note?
He was almost dead twice, but he didn't die.
Did somebody bite him?
What?
Optimistic note?
Wow, I really just opened a can of worms with the heart.
What is Sunday?
Football.
Daylight gets 1 minute longer. Tomorrow is we bottom out. Darkest it'll be, shortest period of light in the year. Then we go up from the winter solstice starting. Every day gets better.
And you know what? You're the biggest ray of sunshine of all, Dan Roche.
Thanks.
Thank you for being here.
Happy holidays to you and yours.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Talk to you on
Happy
January
holidays,
2nd.
Hardy people.
Yeah, thanks for everything. Adam,
Dan,
Brian,
a
Nick,
pleasure as always.
Love you
Happy
guys.
holidays.
I mean it. Thanks.
I love you, Dan. Bye.